You on that?
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We the real Hebrew Israelites come in, week out to prophesy the downfall of America and to wake up, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are on this sign, that are the real Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to our elders and apostles at Gms, who continue to teach and rule well, and peace and safety to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, that are pushing out this truth and sincerity, and putting their life on the line to do so. All right, we the brothers from the Gms Atlanta Church, and I just want to go into, enduring, all right, because in this walk of ours, it gets wearisome at times, man. It gets hard, okay? But this is a thing of endurance, man. This is not a marathon, okay?
That's crazy.
This is not a marathon. I mean, it is a marathon, Salaki. It's not a race, okay? So, you can, if you're familiar with a marathon, those that pace themselves are the ones that, endure the race, and reach that finish line. But them that just shoot out the gate right off the bat, they spuddle out and they end up not finishing the race. All right, they burn out the water. And if you do, start out, hot like that, you got to keep that fire, all right, until the end, all right, because there's nothing wrong with being fiery, on fire, but you got to keep that same intensity. What these people say in the word, keep that same energy. You got to have that same energy, man. All right, and this thing about the brothers, the brother was just talking about, he got infirmities, me, myself, I got infirmities. I'm pretty sure, other brothers as well, and you men that are watching as well too. But you got to endure that as well, man, because, we're in these fleshly bodies and we're going to have to deal with this until we get those new bodies, man. All right? And when you come to serve the Lord, man, temptations and things of that nature are going to come, man. All right? So bring it out, man, Surah 2.
This is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Yeah, if you come to serve the Lord, which we do, you have to prepare your soul for temptation. How do you prepare? Okay, you read the scriptures. The scriptures tell you that the things are written aforetime, written for our learning. So you gotta go into these certain accounts, build your faith up, pray, study to show thyself approved, so that way when temptation comes, you'll be prepared. And all the things that you've been reading and the knowledge that you've gained, you'll be able to put that forth, man, in order to endure those temptations. All right, go ahead.
Come, verse 2, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. It may not.
It's like constantly endure, man. That don't mean just endure a little bit and then it's over with. It says constantly, man. It's going to be a consistent thing of endurance, as long as you're in this fight, man. All right? And once you're in this fight, it's good to keep your hand to the plow, because the scripture tell you that any man that taketh his hand from the plow is not fit for the kingdom. Okay? So that's a level of consistency that you got to have. Okay? You had something to say?
I was going to say, the scripture say, he who endure to the end shall be saved.
Yeah, to the end, man. That marathon race. Not he that endures for the first 100 meters in a 400-meter race.
Right.
You've only did a quarter of what you were set out to do, man. All right?
Come and reread it. It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. And make not haste in the time of trouble.
Yeah, make not haste in the time of trouble. The times that we're coming into, man, which is nearer than we believe, man, the time of Jacob's trouble. All right? You're going to have to pray that the Lord puts the spirit on you to endure through that too, and keep your integrity, man, and not to sell out. We went into a lesson last night, me, the brother Abu Zakaria, and Kashakwala and Karatazar. Yeah, we went into a lesson about that, man. When those persecutions and shit hit the fan, so to speak, keep that integrity, man. That's part of endurance too. That's part of endurance too, because you almost at the end. That's like you almost at the finish line, and then you don't lean forward and finish that race. You kind of, take a deep breath as if the race is already over, and your ass lose by 0.2 of a second, man. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, Khan, and it says don't be hasty either, man. Don't be too quick to make decisions on your own. The Lord works with patience. Just be patient. Sometimes you just gotta sit and wait and be on the low so the Lord can establish your spirit to maneuver you through things, man. You know?
That's right, brother. Because you'll have situations where Jake, they might run into that demon where they can't find consistent work. So their first thought is, I'm gonna up and leave. I'm gonna go. Here it is. You done lived in Georgia your whole goddamn life, but now you want to up and reroute yourself and go to New York or go to Texas, all in the pursuit of a job. When really the Lord just said, like you said, don't be hasty, man. Sit your ass still and just deal with it, and the Lord will take you through it. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that deals with patience. Like we was talking about, infirmities and wounds and things of that nature. Your cut, it takes time for it to heal. You know, have a natural tendency to close up. You know, patience. It's not hurrying up like, man, let me just close it. No, it's patience because there's a lot of things that got to be built in order for it to heal. You know.
That's why you have that saying, you can't rush fine wine, man.
That's right.
Because wine, it has to sit, it has to, the elements have to come together and appreciate. And it's the same thing with suffering. Pain is a aspect of building character. And you need those elements of pain to be absorbed so that you can actually become a stronger individual.
Okay. I'm going to continue to verse 3. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Whenever it's brought upon thee, take cheerfully. All right. When you start catching hell, don't be so quick, bitch up. The Lord jacking me up. The war is weak spirit, man. Okay. Reread that part.
Verse 4 it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Yeah, you got to be patient, man. You got to take it cheerfully. If you're at a low estate, you got to have that mind frame while you are at a low estate. The Lord didn't exalt us yet. Not yet, man. We're not in the kingdom yet. The scripture said this is not your rest, So if you're at a low estate, take it cheerfully because you're there for a reason. That's what the Lord wants you to be. He wants to look down upon you and watch you fight through his test, man. Through the chastisement, through the hell you got to go through, man. So take it cheerfully, take the low, keep praying, and push on. That's why you got the brotherhood, That's why he gave you the spirit. He sent the spirit on you to talk to him. Send up prayers, man, You got it, bro.
I got a precept for you. This is Romans 8:35. And it says, who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach Yahushua? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, and all these things we are more than conquerors through him that love us. For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, like you said, Jacob's trouble, nor height, nor depth, nor any creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which is in Mashiach Yahushua our Lord.
Yeah, because we just read in Sirach, whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. The brother just went down a long list of things, man. All right? All that comes with the territory, okay? All of it. And as you go, the first sign of it, or you've been 3-4 years in it, and it's getting too much for you, man, the hell with the Most High and the truth. I'm about to go back to the west side and do whatever. Start making some money. This truth ain't where it's at, man. It's 3-4 years in, and the Lord still ain't came. And that making haste as well, man. Just be patient, man, and endure. Bring that out in Matthew.
This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely, for my sake.
Keep going.
Rejoice and be exceedingly glad.
Yeah, rejoice and be exceedingly glad, man. That's taking it cheerfully. The persecutions and all of that are gonna come, man. All right? Rejoice. Be cheerful. The scriptures are using those kind of adjectives to describe how you should be feeling in that time, man, and how you should be enduring. It didn't say be sad and be sorrowful and be down on yourself when persecution comes. It didn't say that. It said be rejoiceful and be glad. Whatever is brought upon you, take cheerfully, those are the kind of adjectives that describe how you should be feeling. You know, when all hell comes against you, or you just feel like you can't push on, or you're in too much pain, so like to keep going. Okay? That was it on that continuous surah.
Con, this is verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Yeah, it says acceptable men. Anything that's acceptable has to be tried and go through a refining period, man. Like what? It says choice gold, fine gold.
Con, it says, for gold is tried in the fire.
Yeah, fire has to be put upon it, and if it stands the test of times of that fire, man, it's acceptable. All right, it's worthy to be had, man. It's something precious. Okay, it says acceptable, man. You have to be acceptable until Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. The Lord just not dealing with any old 2-bit nigga that'll tap out at the first sign of temptation and anguish. All right, that's nothing to be want on this side.
Right, brother.
You want something that's going to stand the test of time, man, and that'll go through that refining and that purifying process, man.
You know, include. Oh.
I gonna say, there's this quote that goes around where it says the way to try a man's loyalty is to see what he does when he has everything, but the way that you try a woman's loyalty is to see how she's with you when you have nothing.
Right.
And it's the same thing with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, with us being his women in the spirit of things. He wants to see how we're gonna be when we don't have nothing. Like, are we gonna endure? Are we still gonna fight? Are you still gonna try to get to camp when you ain't got a car? You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got money in your pocket, you still gonna do lessons?
Right.
You still, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, those infirmities. Are you gonna fight through it all, or you just gonna look for exit right?
Read the last part of that verse again.
God, this is verse 5, and it says, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity.
Yeah, in adversity. There's also a quote that says, you know a man's true character by who he is when faced with adversity.
Yep.
All right, because when everything's all good, it's okay to, it's easy to do the work.
Listen, yeah.
It's easy to get to camp when you got a car with 2 or 3 miles on it. It's fresh off the lot. Yeah. It's easy to do a video when you got unlimited data and your phone bill paid off. You see what I'm saying? It's easy.
It's easy.
But are you going, if you don't have the money, your phone get cut off, are you going to take that extra walk to the library to connect to the Wi-Fi, to turn it on, do a video and upload it? Are you going to catch a bus or two, your car break down, and you don't have one? That shows who you truly are, man.
Yes.
But when everything's, all pieces and cream, it's easy. It's a cakewalk.
Yeah, Job's integrity wasn't stamped and sealed and approved prior to Satan trying him. It was when Satan tried him,
right? And
he went through all that. That was like, okay, Job is definitely a servant of mine.
Yeah, he was certified.
He was certified. Beautiful.
Go ahead and then take Corinthians out.
This is 2 Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 10. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproach, in necessities, in persecutions.
It says, Slocky, we read the top part.
Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities.
Yeah, then we're going to take pleasure. That's another adjective. You should be taking pleasure in these things. You should be taking it cheerfully. You should rejoice and be glad. These are the things that are describing how you should feel in that time, man, when you're faced with these kind of things.
In reproaches and necessities, in persecutions, in distress, for Mashiach's sake.
Yeah.
For when I am weak, then I am strong.
Yeah. Because the Lord deals with the weak and the low and the meek, man. All right? When you don't have it all, when you're not feeling too well, man, that's when you're in your strength. All right? If you're familiar with the game of basketball, Jordan had the best game of his career with the few, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That shows who you really are, man.
Yeah.
If you can go out and have the best game of your career under the weather, man, with a fluke, hey, man, it ain't no excuse, man. Because that man put in the time and the work in the gym. So when he's faced with those kind of infirmities, he was still able to go out and perform at his peak, man.
That's right.
All right? And now that's on a carnal level, But the scriptures tell you, you know, spiritually, man, when you're weak, then you are strong, man. Okay.
It's something that weakness does to the human mind. You know, it's a term called the fight or flight syndrome, where whatever blockades and obstacles is impeding you, or they're trying to impede you. Either you're gonna get over them and become way stronger in the spirit, or you're just gonna fall out. You know, and in most cases, you know, which you got either or. Like scripture speak about choose your side, but just like you were saying. And if you do overcome, then that's gonna what? That's gonna build character. That's gonna strengthen your mentality, take you to the next level. You know, and just like even when you deal with the battlefield, when you look at a lot of generals, certain individuals in the military that was in the service for 20, 30 years, a lot of those men, they know the ins and outs when it comes to warfare because of all the mistakes they've seen. They've seen certain men make certain mistakes that cost them their lives. You know, they seen certain foolish actions take place where troops died. Distractions, men going AWOL, MIA. And, you know, they seen everything to the point where they became masters of the field of war. And that's where they actually get those different prizes against those certain those badges of honor, you know?
Purple Hearts.
Can
I bring this out real quick to add to what the brother just said? This is Proverbs 18 and 14. And it says, the spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity, but a wounded spirit, who can bear it?
Hey, that's pretty much self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Reread it up.
Yeah, come on, let me, because the brother brought the account of Michael Jordan. This is Proverbs 18 and 14, and it says, the spirit of a man will sustain his infirmities, but a wounded spirit, who can bear it?
Yep. Bring that out, 2 Timothy 2:10.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 10. Therefore, I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Hamashiach Yahushua with eternal glory. It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. This is 2 Timothy 2 and 10. Therefore, I endure all things for the elect's sake.
Did you read verse 3?
That was actually good.
Yeah, read verse 3.
Yep. There we go. Verse 3.
This is 2 Timothy 2 and verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Because the brother Barazal was bringing out, comparing us to soldiers on the battlefield. Okay, they see all type of things. They go through all type of weather. You know, they have to fight in all kind of conditions. They see their brothers go down, die. You know, they see innocent people being killed. You know, they see actually family members being killed if they're, you know, on the battlefield as well. You know, all these things you have to endure, man.
That's right.
The scriptures compare us to soldiers, man. And soldiers are kind of, you know, when it comes to certain things, they're numb to certain things. Certain things, you know, that may affect a normal average citizen don't affect them.
Yeah.
All right. And that's how we are in the truth. Certain things that we go through, people in the world are bug the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Or start crying, man, and just want to give up.
Commit suicide about.
Yeah, commit suicide. You know, start committing crimes because they ain't, you know, their paycheck ain't adding up. You know, they ain't got enough for rent. You know, quick to want to go, you know, sell or flip a brick,
Hit a
rob
lick.
somebody. Yeah. See, we endure those kind of things too. But as good soldiers of Yahushua Mashiach, you know, we stay to the faith and we look to our power for all the answers, man. We don't look to carnality and want to just, you know, be a nigga because we catching hell.
But that's what that Jake did on this news article I read the other day. He went to set up this Jake that was selling green, and he thought he was gonna be justified by killing the drug dealer.
Yeah.
But where he got life, but just for killing the drug dealer.
That's simple too to think that way.
Oh, just to pay his rent, by the way.
Yeah, just to pay his rent.
Just to pay his rent.
See?
So now you got
ain't
free
gonna-
rent.
Yeah,
Now you got free.
Now you got 3 hots in the cot. Goddamn, you ain't got to worry
For
about no
life.
rent.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about no food stamp, none of that. They
Yeah,
gonna
one
take care
bedroom,
of that.
all right.
Yeah. Heat, everything, utilities paid. You good.
Health care.
Yeah,
Free shoes.
Yeah. So in a sense, hey, he
Crazy.
accomplished this goal, man. You ain't gonna have to worry about rent. Hey, the government take care of that for you.
Free cable.
Right.
Yeah, free cable.
You got some?
I got a little bit of.
look at this.
Did you read verse 4? That verse 4.
Keep going. Yeah.
Okay, this is verse 4. No man that warrant entangled himself with the affairs of this life.
Yes,
That
sir.
he-
No man that warfare entangles himself with the affairs of his life. So when you're on the battlefield, your main focus should be the battle, man.
That's right.
You know, don't what they say when you over there, when you get shipped off overseas, don't worry about the things that's at home. You know, they even something like you watch the show Jarhead. They be saying, you know, certain things. They make jokes, cracking on, you know, another man might have your woman, but they look at that shit as humor. Like, fuck it, hey, somebody else might got it, this, that, and the other, man. That ain't even a bigger picture right now, man. My main focus should be surviving on this battlefield so I can get the fuck home, man. And that's just like you said, they start to get immune to certain jokes. You know, you watch these military movies. It's one military movie, not Fury. I forget what it's called.
Metal Jacket. Not Metal Jacket.
It wasn't Full Metal Jacket. It had Forrest Whitaker. It was a lot. Where they had Sergeant Bar. Huh? I don't think it was Dead President. So I'm gonna look it up. But basically, he was basically talking about grunts. You know, basically they was when they was in the military, they would suffer so many things, but it was like, you know, but at the end of the day, grunts could take it. You know, so all the hell that they took, you know, all the hell they caught, platoon. That's it. All the hell they caught, they just still endured it. You know, and you'll see in the military they make a lot of racist jokes to each other.
Yeah.
They might call you nigga, you know, it's spick, goop, this, whatever. If you're Chinese in the military, you are Latin in the military, they're gonna call you the most derogatory names, and they do that to really rough you up, rough your feathers, see what kind of mentality you in, to see how you actually act, you know, your actions on a battlefield. Because if you ain't getting shook up by the little things like name calling and all that shit, then they're gonna see how you operate on a battlefield, man.
Like Men of Honor is another good one with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro was just steady trying to break him.
Yeah.
You know, every step along the way, he take him outside, holds him down. He's like, quit. Quit. He just was every step along the way, it was all in the name of making him quit.
But when they went into that courtroom, you can see them by just marching side by side with each other like the hell that they went through.
Yeah. And he ended up having no choice but to respect him.
Oh, you said Cuba Gooding Jr.
Antoine Fisher.
When he got his
No, not
leg-
Antoine. You talking about
Someone
Antoine
when he
Fisher.
was holding the thing in the air.
Yeah, that's Cuba Gooding Jr. was in Men of Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to be.
He got his leg cut off.
Yeah, he got his leg cut off. Yeah, he was walking in the
But he
courtroom
still
with his leg
endured,
cut.
man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
One thing, he was in the courtroom.
Oh, okay,
and He had
Slacky,
to
yeah.
do them certain steps to see if he was actually compatible.
Oh yeah, I seen this.
And
Yeah.
Because he still
endured
wanted
it,
to. Yeah.
That showed
still-
mental strength.
Yep.
And he had the opportunity to get the hell up off the battlefield, boy. He was war ready.
was determined.
He was determined.
I think he lost his woman. You know.
That's all he had after that.
And it was like niggas ain't nothing. Niggas can't do nothing. He proved them wrong.
It was bigger than him.
It was bigger than him. Yeah. Yep.
Damn, that's crazy.
Hey, Salah, you know what's crazy? Because I know we're equating this to being harder in the streets of the spirit, dude, being a man of the Lord. But the ancient prophets had to go through things like that. You know, Ezekiel's wife died, and he had to go right back out there and prophesy. Yeah, you know. It was like, his wife died that morning, and in the evening he had to go out there and teach. So, and it's truth. You gotta do what you gotta do. And then I'm gonna say this too. Yahweh Shai said, whatever we lose on this side, we receive 100-fold in the kingdom. You know. So like the brother was saying, you gotta be determined. You gotta have your eye on the prize.
That's right, brother.
That's
And
why he
it's
said,
crazy. Oh, go ahead, bro.
that's why he said be cheerful when they're at a lower stake. That's why he putting us through that fire once again, man. You know, because he has a bigger reward for us, man. We're gonna get double, you know, tenfold, you know, double fold.
And this is spirit the brother said that about the prophet's endurance, because I want to bring out the account when the Apostle Paul was going through all types of hell, man, in 2 Corinthians. Go ahead and bring it out.
It's like this is 2 Corinthians 11 and verse 25. Trents, thrice was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. Thrice I suffered shipwreck.
It was thrice as 3.
Thrice I suffered shipwreck, a night and a day I have been beaten down.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's
Apostle-
like it, been in the deep. It's like
See, Apostle Paul was beat, you know,
Stoned.
beat, stoned, all of that, man, in the name of the Lord, man. That didn't stop him. That didn't stop his journey. He kept going. All right, that's a sign of endurance, man. All right, enduring whatever is brought upon thee, which we read early in the scriptures. All right, go ahead.
verse 26, and journeyings often and perils,
And perils,
pe-
yep.
of waters and perils of robbers
Look at the definition of peril. That's fine.
and perils by my own countrymen.
Yeah, that mean they was basically coming up against him, man. His own people, his own brethren. Okay, he had to endure that as well, man.
Yeah, false brethren.
False brother. Yep.
I got it. This is the definition of peril. It goes back to the Latin periculum, which is danger.
Yeah. He was in danger of. We start from.
God, I'm gonna start back from the top.
He was in danger of, false brethren and all manner, man. Go ahead. 26.
26. God. Verse 26, and journeyings often and perils of water and perils of robbers.
If I may, because he said perils of water, because Paul and his ministries, his missionaries, or however they call it, Paul's missions, he had to travel by sea. But now in this day and age, we don't travel from place to place by sea.
Right.
So what's our perils now? Your car always fucking breaking down.
Shipwreck, yeah.
You always ship. It's like always something. A flat tire here. Then a few days later, another flat tire.
Emissions test.
Emission test.
Traffic.
You get what I'm saying? A bump fender bender. Somebody hit your shit. Somebody, your goddamn starter go out. Your carburetor go out. Your alternator go out.
Right.
And see, the thing is, you got niggas in the world that suffer the same thing, but they're not suffering these things for the purpose of pushing the truth. Everything we do is pro Yahweh Shah. They doing things to be pro nigga, man. Their car might break down, and really it might be best for their car to break down because they might be on a mission to do some hit a lick.
Just commit adultery.
That's second Ezra 7 and 7. They go through the straits too, but they ain't gonna get no reward for going through the straits.
They just being there just to do more wickedness.
Yeah, and I would rather suffer these things and go through these things for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, than for some carnal shit.
Hell
Because
yeah.
all this is gonna pass away. But what we doing it for is gonna be, eternal life, man.
That's right,
And in
brother.
hopes of that crown being placed upon our head, and gaining our salvation to get the hell up out of here. All right.
Then it's boosting our faith though too. We can see the beauty and glory, man. Once we find out, that we're praying unto Him in our lowest states, it's like, man, we're doing what He said we'll do. That's why we call ourselves the hopeful elect.
That's right, brother.
It just pushes us to keep praying. It pushes us to keep maneuvering, dodging. There's all this hell going on around us. Cause we're in the same ghettos as Jake. We see them bugging out, but we're here doing the work. So once we see that in each other, man, it's like, hey, call hello like how about Shemal Shah? He's real, he's true.
Yeah. And if I can say too, it's certain brothers that, we had a brother. As soon as he came into the camp, his car got stolen. The brother had a big smile on his face. You would think he just won a car.
Yeah.
How he was acting. But Jake in the world, his first day in the camp, coming out, and his car gets stolen. Man, I ain't fucking with GMS no more. I got my car stolen when I went out there. But we don't look at it in that sense, man. We looking at this because the Lord chastening who He loves, man.
That's right.
And going through that chastising is a part of. You have to endure that as well, man.
It's our hazing.
Yeah, because the Lord want to see, are you fit, for what He has for you, man, in the latter end, man. All right, He just not gonna give all of these precious stones and His jewels and His name and salvation to just some 2/3, man. He got to know that you are willing to go through things for His name's sake.
Yep.
Okay.
I got something for you.
Strive for the truth unto death.
Yep. You said you had something, Barber?
Yeah, you was done with you had these
Nah,
things.
keep
Still more. Verse 26, and journeyings often and perils of water.
Yeah, and the brother went into the word perils means danger, so in dangers of water, he was shipwrecked. That was his means of traveling, like the brother brought out, which would be equivalent to today as, our cars, Okay, go ahead.
And perils of robbers. Yeah, like you said, my brother got a star code.
Yep, parents and fathers.
That's a thief, you know. Yeah, and perils of robbers, and perils by my own countrymen, and perils by the heathen.
Yep, his own people. Because we come out here and tell you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that you God-chosen people. You know, you want to buck up against that. You want to call us evil. You know, the scripture tell you woe to them that call evil good and good evil. Yeah. So, in perils of his own country, we're in danger every day. But we know the Lord has his heads of protection around us because he's in the midst of us. You know, the scripture tell you when two or more are gathered in my name, he's in the midst of you. But we know there's niggas out here, man, that don't like hearing the truth, man.
Yep.
You know, they want you to speak into them smooth things. Because what we say well, not may, it will cut a Jake, man. All right? And when we bringing out this gospel the way we do, it can rub these 2/3 the wrong way, and they, you know, we'll be in danger of it. But like I said, it's all, you know, orchestrated by the Heavenly Father. Whatever He sees necessary, you know, is going to take place. All right?
John.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna continue. It says, "And perils in the city, and perils in the wilderness, and perils in the sea, and perils among false brethren."
Yeah, amongst false brethren. You deal with that as well. All right? Just because, you know, some of them crept in unawares that they speak about in Jude get in, don't mean that the whole body is corrupt, man.
Right.
You'll get guys that come in and they see one brother going off or one brother defraud them or do something to them, and now they think GMS ain't right. No, it was that particular individual, man.
Right.
You know, it's not us as a whole, because once something like that takes place, you know, and brothers catch wind of it, best believe it's going to be dealt with.
Yeah.
All right. And that particular spirit is not going to be around no more.
Yeah,
all
did
right?
the other 11 disciples leave Yahweh Shah because or leave the ministry because Judas sold them out?
Exactly.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Keep going.
Come on, verse 27. And weariness and painfulness.
Yep, those are the infirmities. You know, those trials and tribulations that we go through. You know, he was in danger of all that, man, but he kept going. You know.
And watchings often, and hunger and thirst, and fastings often,
Yeah.
Fast as all.
and cold, and nakedness.
Hey, and that's a sign of enduring, man. Whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Rejoice and be glad when thou change to a lower estate, man. You know, as gold is tried in the fire, man. Okay?
If I may say, because it said watchings also, even if you have to watch around your own people, that's a terrible thing, because it said like what? By its own country. Meaning you gotta always keep your head on a swivel around your own kind.
Oh, yeah. And
That's why you call those watchmen.
well, what they had, the what was it, 40+ men that said that they ain't gonna eat or sleep till they kill Paul. He had to be on watch, man.
Right.
Had to sneak out of the house, basket.
And you know, after day 3, their stomachs was touching their back, man. So
Somebody
they
like,
trying to find Paul. They like, man, look, we held this oath. We gonna have to kill Paul.
We got to get his ass
We gotta
now.
get his ass. Paul got locked up in prison. That's why it's great to read those books, man. To go into these testimonies and actually walk with these men of the Lord. Because of course, you know, that's the highest connection that we can have in these times. You know, is through reading, to actually see what these men actually had to go through. You know,
That's right.
to build their character. You know.
Scripture was written 4 times, written 5 years.
Father.
Yep.
So, and
You had a precept on
Yeah,
that?
I got you. This is Sirach 4:17. I started 16. If a man commit himself unto her, he shall inherit her, and his generation shall hold her in possession. For at the first she will walk with them by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws.
And she being wisdom. Because when you first come into this truth, just like the opening scripture the brother read in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation. And wisdom has a way of tempting you and trying and testing you to see if you're actually made of that genuine, precious of gold or earth, Ophir, as it is written in the 13th chapter of Isaiah, or you full of fool's gold, or full of shit.
Yeah.
Verse
Shitstone.
Got a dunghill,
The
man.
donkey.
Oh, the scripture say that on so what? Verse 18. Then when she returned the straightway unto him. Yeah, I got that. Verse 18. Then when she returned the straightway unto him and comfort him and show him her secrets, which is what? The understanding of the scriptures, the wisdom of the Lord, how to confide with wisdom in the very adversities that you may go through. Like Father Abraham, our forefathers that actually had to go through all kinds of trials and tribulations. Wisdom was with them every step of the way, which is the comfort. Verse 19. But if you go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil.
And you know what, brother? That's what's so crazy about that is, it said if he go wrong, because wisdom is pure. So it's of you messing up. So if he go wrong, like you said, he gets weary, loses faith, then she has every right to forsake him.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. The wisdom never leads you the wrong way. It's you not trusting in the wisdom, you know?
Yeah. Because the Lord always, just like you watch these shows, these old shows. I don't know if they show it today, but because I don't watch cartoons today. But back then they would always have the angel on the shoulder, the devil, like on Tom and Jerry or something like that. They always have the angel that's telling you the right thing to do, and then you got the devil that's arguing with the angel, and you just, you know, you looking back and forth, and that's true, which is what your conscience. The scripture says in Sirach, blessed is he whose conscience have not condemned him, because your mind can actually steer you in the right way, or it can give you over to evil. It tells you that in Jeremiah the 17th chapter, how the heart is deceitful above all things. Who can know it?
And that's that fight. Verse 20. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. And that's really the main point.
Yeah. You continue in that Sirach.
Come, this is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 2 and verse 7, right? Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall.
Yeah, and fear is the beginning of knowledge, man. If you have the proper knowledge, you'll know that it's important to endure and wait and be patient, man. All right, not to be hasty in the day of trouble, man. You know, to want to kick rocks at the first sign of hardship. Go ahead.
Come, ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail.
Yeah, your reward shall not fail. He that endures to the end shall be saved, man. All right, that's to the end. We gotta finish this marathon, man. You can't say, well, I've been running long enough, I'm tired, it's time to quit. Nah, you ain't at the finish line yet, man. You gotta finish the race. And that's where the reward comes, man. They don't give a reward to a person running a marathon that almost won.
Right.
They give it to the person that finished the race, whether it be first, second, or third, man.
Victory.
Yeah, the victory, man.
Nobody gives a hell about the ones that lose the race. They care about the ones that win the race.
Exactly.
You know?
Right. You don't have an article written on you for almost finishing the race. You don't get a special on TV because you almost won the 400 meter. You know what I'm saying?
You get a goddamn meme of niggas talking shit about you.
Yeah. Ostracized, goddamn.
Yeah.
Laughed at.
Right.
Oh, well, it tells you that the count the cost.
Yeah.
Because it said, you know, what man begin to build? Because if you don't build, then everybody begins to laughing monkey. You know?
Because in this world, people are always looking for you to fail anyway.
That's true.
So imagine you building a house, a physical house, and everybody like, he think he the shit. He building this big ass house, and then 6 months down the line, that blue tarp is hanging over the roof still.
Yeah.
People gonna talk shit about you.
I told you.
I told you. Yeah, I told you. He thought he was a shit. Now look at him.
You know they had to happen with Noah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know he out there prophesying. They ain't never rained before at
Right.
that time.
Talking shit.
You know, so Jay, like, you know, why he building this big ass boat?
Yeah, it was
Talking
big.
about, you know, animals. He prophesying the water from heaven. You know,
Rain?
No,
Yeah,
blood.
they laughing
Rain?
over the
Couldn't even pronounce rain.
When that rain came, the door was shut and it was knocking.
Oh, too late, man.
And Al-Shai said the same thing gonna happen in this time. So, you know, it's important to make sure we're still building that spiritual heart.
That's right, brother.
Keep going.
Come, verse 9. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded?
Yeah, look at the generation of old. We brought out several accounts, man. Job, Paul, you know, so on and so forth. Did any of those men that put their trust in the Lord, were they ever forsaken? Did the Lord turn his back on them? No. That's why we have those certain accounts, man, to revert back to.
That's right,
So
brother.
when you are getting weak and low in the spirit, hey, it said look at the generations of old. All right? And those are our examples, man. And those are our faith boosters to help us keep going, man, to actually finish the race.
Yeah.
All right? You always got to have something in your memory bank for motivation.
Yeah, the
'Cause
war
if you-
stories.
Yeah, because if you don't, man, you don't really have nothing to like fuel you. Yeah, the water. You know, you just out there naked, man. You just on a wing and a prayer. You ain't got nothing backed up or nothing to fall back on to support you. You know, when your faith gets weak or you hurt and you don't feel like doing the work no more. You just done got nothing because you ain't been building. And you ain't been taking these scriptures and looking at the generations of old as examples, man. You just was reading. You ain't storing nothing up spiritually. You just reading words on the paper.
Yeah.
Sound cute at camp.
Yeah. Because you want to sound like you on some type of level, but when it's time to put these words into fruition, you can't do it.
Jake put the Bible down and go to the niggerology.
You had something.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring this out. This is Isaiah 33:6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." Right? So, hey, just land backing off what the brother's saying. Okay? You know, being stable, right? Being stable, the evil times ahead, all right?
Damn nigga, man.
Yeah, man. See what he listening to. Yeah.
Can't even be mad at the music.
Yeah.
At least he ain't probably got that notice.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I ain't really gonna throw the music on to jam out anyway. You know, like I was saying, to be stable in the times ahead, okay, you have to make sure you have the right wisdom and knowledge.
That's right.
But you got Israelites out here that ain't holding to that. Okay? You know, like what said, they'll fall back on that niggerology because when the tribulation come or whatever chastisement come, or you know, or being low comes, okay, it offends them. You know? It's like, I'm not gonna, you know, like they don't retain and hold the understanding within themselves. Okay? So it says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation." So that's what's going to give you strength. Okay, having something to fall back on, having understanding to rely on, which is of the Bible, man. Okay, these jakes out here, they don't have the understanding of the scriptures to rely upon. You know, when times get bad. Okay, they're busy trying to okay, well, let's put some you know, something up into this.
They want to appease the
economic-
flesh.
Yeah, you know, a new economic revolution. You know, for so-called black community. That's what they want to rely on, instead of looking at what the Lord wants, the Spirit of the Lord.
They be trying to reinvent the wheel and shit. Like,
Right.
just follow the
Right.
path that's already been set.
Right.
The scripture look at the generation. Oh, it's already been done, man. Just follow the path.
Already inscribed.
A path that's already shown to be a failing path.
It is right.
All right,
But
and
niggas
last
love
of it-
failing, man.
Right. Last of it says, "The fear of the Lord is his treasure." A treasure is something you hold dear. It's not, you know, some precious. So fearing the Lord and having an understanding of what the fear of the Lord is and what it brings, positive or negative, that's what you're gonna have to lean upon in order to get you through. You know, but most of our people don't have that in the truth and outside the truth. You know, so take this thing as a special treasure. Keep it.
Yeah, 'cause truthfully speaking, this knowledge, the knowledge of Yahweh Shem Shah is a cheat code, man. The scriptures is the up, down, AB, you know, trigger. You got all the fucking weapons
Yeah,
on
the
the
game
video
genie.
You know, so you directed to maneuver. And Jake trying to play the game with a upside down controller, man. Unplug it. You ever play some Jake at video game? The goddamn his controller end up yanking out. and you start whooping his ass, he trying to plug it back up. That's basically Jake, man.
Yeah, come.
Or that shit just snapped in half, and you just whooping Jake ass, and he just on mute.
Put that bitch on computer.
You know, you control the Bluetooth now, so the battery run out, so now it's not connected.
Yeah, now it's not
Way
connected.
too disconnected.
Because Jake is truly disconnected on the path, man.
Yep.
Jake doesn't really see what we're fighting. The scriptures tells you in Ephesians the 6th chapter what we're truly fighting. You know, we ain't just fighting no physical or Edomite. You know, this thing is spiritual, man. We fighting the elitists, the ones that's actually just sending down witchcraft and sorcery to deviate us from the knowledge of Yahweh Shah. And when you attach to that, that's when, you know, you actually become a real candidate on the battlefield. Before that, you just a nigga. It don't matter how many guns you store up. It don't matter, like you say, how many black economic revolutions you'll come with, how many individuals you have in your organization. It's all of naught. It tells you that was that Psalms 127 and 1. Yeah, you think that real fast? Psalms 127?
It was training.
A lot of Jake don't even know that they're at war. That's part of the fight, is knowing that you're in a fight. A lot of Jake don't even realize that. A lot of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they see the so-called, you know, that group of white people walking by, and they like, what are you talking about? Bad times? Just because Susie and Timmy are smiling and having a honky-dory good time, don't mean that we ain't in the worst times ever, man.
And the Lord eyes, we're in a time of war.
Yeah.
Spiritual war.
Yeah.
You know, but in your carnal eyes, you're in the spirit of folly. Going to Wingstop, you know, going to the movies and afterwards commit adultery. You know, just carnal stuff.
And you have these Jakes that are trying to protest against Gucci and Louis Vuitton to ban them. First off, y'all already spent billions. That Louis Vuitton is gonna stay up, man.
Yeah.
Whether you niggas pay for it or not.
It's a 100+ year company. Fuck you niggas.
And they still got Europe. All those establishments already started in Europe. To really take this white man's kingdom down, man, you chop the head off the snake, man. You go to the source. And we go straight to the root of the problem.
Yep.
You know, we ain't trying to chop these little branches. We trying to chop the whole.
Now we trying to dig that motherfucker out the ground,
Yeah,
man.
we trying to uproot it.
Excavation.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it tells you that
In Job?
to uproot. Matter of fact, get that
Yeah, yeah.
Psalms 127 real fast.
I got
This
it.
is
Go ahead.
count. This is Psalms 127 and 1. Except the Lord build a house, they labor in vain that build it.
Yeah, it's useless. If the Lord's not the co-founder, if he's not the cornerstone in your establishment, in your plans, then it's gonna topple down, man.
To be
Just like-
Christianity.
huh?
Christianity.
Yeah, look at Christianity, Catholicism. You know, they didn't build their framework off of the virtues of the Lord. They built it off of bribe and robbery. That's why majority of the individuals in Christianity, they're bugged out. They don't understand nothing in the scriptures, and they really can't they truthfully can't read the scriptures with understanding. Man.
Oh man.
They don't know majority of the books of the Bible, let alone read them. And if they did read them, they don't understand them.
They put it. You know, a lot of Jake in the Christian church, they read the Bible and they ask for a right to sleep.
Hell yeah. Because it's blocked on
It's
them.
blocked on them. It dozes. It puts their ass to sleep, man.
Spirit of deep sleep, literally.
Literally, yeah.
And not only are these so-called Christian organizations, these black conscience, whether you in Egyptology, Pan-Africanism,
Islam.
look how far they got. These black conscious guys, their whole intent, which they always pushed in a lot of debates going back to the motherland, going back and reestablishing Africa as in the days of old, and they haven't even got to step one. Step one is to get at Africa.
Them niggas ain't even got a little. Them niggas ain't even got a little Africa here.
Right.
You know, like at least there's a little Cuba, little Haiti. Them niggas ain't even got a little Africa here, man.
Ham ain't got a little African. Ham ain't got no little
Like get the fuck out of here, man. And niggas had straight down the street by the farmers market. Remember they had a little Egyptian building next to the farmers market and shit. And that shit been closed down, man. That goes straight in, like you said, Psalms 127 and 1 too.
That prophecy speaking loud and clear, man. We got that in Isaiah, what you was talking about?
Yeah,
You want to finish it?
Oh, yeah, it's on it. Okay.
God, I'm gonna just reread it. This Psalms 127. Except the Lord build a house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the
Yeah,
Lord.
all the labor is just building up just to fall, man. Just like it says, even in Esau's house, if the wicked be multiplied is just for the sword. So it don't matter. The more you build, the bigger that tower becomes, the bigger the better the fall. Look at the ancient Tower of Babel. Was that Genesis the 11th chapter or the 10th chapter? The 11th chapter. When they built that tower up, all of them came together in one consent. They got that mortar, basically that mortar and brick job, and they built it high, extremely high. And the Most High destroyed that tower, man, because it wasn't built upon the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And it don't matter. It really doesn't matter how elegant it looks. Like, look at America. America is elegant in the eyes of the masses of the world. You have all these, all this architecture. You have, you have everything that the eye,
history.
The history. You got everything that appeals to the eye. But this country is the shit in the eyes of the Lord, man. Because why? The wisdom and knowledge of the Lord is not built up in this kingdom. The laws aren't established here. So the Lord is going to erase this whole kingdom, man. North, south, east, west.
That's right.
God said, except the Lord keep the city, the watchman wake up but in vain.
Yeah, except the Lord keep the city.
Yeah.
You said
God.
The watchman what?
It said the watchman wake up but in vain.
Yeah, and the Lord is the protector. This is the city. This is the true city, Jerusalem. And this is the city that was established in the beginning to be the #1 city on the planet Earth. But since we fell as a city, the whole world is fallen. Look at the conditions of the people. Majority of the people are sick. Look, you just had this article came out where they were speaking about how, what is it? The water is actually making it where your body is become resistant to antibiotics and things of that nature. Everything around you is sickening you. Everything is poison.
Changing your DNA.
Changing your DNA, your genetics. Just think about a generation or two after us. How do people?
Esau knows that with his GMOs. He said there's studies that show you in rats that after 2 or 3 generations of GMOs, that they become sterile. They can no longer reproduce. That's Esau's goal with it. He don't want the fruit to be able to bear seeds anymore, and he don't want you humans to bear seed anymore.
Yeah.
That's why he goes so hard in artificial things.
And that's why it's a steady decline on the testosterone on the common man. There's a scarcity of men out here in the world. Masculinity. The men of great millstone, we're the few good men that's left, man. That's it.
And we struggling.
Yeah, we had a fight for our testes, man.
I was going to say, if the judgment begin in us and we struggling, because scripture say that we shall scarcely make it.
Yeah.
If we shall scarcely make it, what then them that obey not the gospel?
Yeah, cut.
No,
These people finished, man.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
This is Acts 5:38. It says, "And now I say unto you, refrain from these men."
Refrain is get the hell away from these men, because if I'm not mistaken, that was Gamaliel talking. Because those men were looking to put up accusations and really kill the Christians at that time. They was always looking for the best opportunity to crack down on the Israelites. Starting off with Yahweh Shah.
Even their own people.
Yep.
And let them alone, for if this
leave them alone. Let them preach in peace. Let them teach in peace. Keep going.
It says, "For if this counsel or this work be of men,
Yeah. So if this is of man, continue.
it will come to naught."
It'll come to nothing. Oh, you had vocab said that we just like every other group.
Yep.
That after after a couple years of teaching, it's just gonna bottom out, so to speak.
Yep.
Hey, let's see what's gonna happen. We already know what the prophecy said, right?
Verse 39, "But if it be of the Most High, ye shall not overthrow it,
But if it be of the Most High, you shall not overthrow it. Team.
lest happily ye be found even to fight against Yahweh Shai Mashiach."
And how the saying go? Your arms ain't
Long enough to box the Lord.
to box the Lord, man. Nobody arms long enough to box the Lord. All right. So these different individuals that's trying to come against the house of the Lord, Yasha Allah, they're trying to come against the Lord personally because we represent the house. We're merely messengers. Everything, the message that we're actually pushing out, we didn't write these words, right? We didn't patent these words, so to speak, to actually come out of our own book of our own heart.
Right.
We're not twisting these words. Everything is purely and divinely coming out of the scriptures, man. The prophecies. And you have scholars that watch these different videos that see what we're talking about, and they know that these things to be true. Truthfully speaking, we get a lot of understanding even from scholars' point of view, because they know the scriptures, man. when we lost this understanding, these scholars kind of, you know,
They preserved it.
they
sorted
preserved
it
it. They put legs on the prophecies. You know, going into the history. So when we actually, you know, as a nation woke back up, it wasn't nothing to go to Google and look up the understanding of Daniel, the 4 kingdoms. What's that 4th kingdom? And link up certain things through the prophecies, and see what times that we're living in now. Now, where they didn't show us is who the chosen Israelites are. That's the things where the Spirit of the Lord, of course, you know, starting off with our elders and the apostles and their elders actually came with the understanding. But a lot of things these scholars already knew. This is the last days, and you know, the end time prophecy of Yahweh Shine, the destruction is going to come. They never said the destruction of America, but through the Spirit of the Lord, we link up the dots to see these things to be true.
But you know, by them not telling us, they did still tell us.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
Hidden in plain sight.
it's hidden in plain sight, because they'll tell you, oh, well, Ham, like in the Zondervan dictionary, they'll tell you, okay, Ham, the progenitor of the dark races. You know, the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, and so on and so forth, but not the Negroes. They'll tell you, oh, Elam, that's the Persians. They'll tell you Ishmael is the so-called Arabs. They'll tell you the Japhet goes back to the Minoans civilization, which is the Hawaiians. They'll tell you all these things, but it's a matter of if the Spirit is working for you to be like, it's like when we used to take them tests when we was in school, and they'd be like, all right, it'd be like a matchbox. So all the answers be in this box, and you got an X amount of questions to mix it. So you got to go into the box and take the answer to put in the question. Right, process of elimination. But it's like if you're not in the spirit of doing that, you be like, well, who knows who the Israelites are? Process of elimination.
Well, a lot of these scholars too, though, depending on who you look at and what you're looking for, you'll find, like James Atlanta. James Atlanta came to the conclusion that the Native Americans are Israelites. You know what I'm saying? So, for what it's worth, certain scholars did say, but that's not the secular consensus of who everybody is.
Right.
They push that to the background. You got to dig that up. You know. But when the Lord does put the Spirit on you, you're going to dig. The scripture says, "How are the things that Esau searched out?" But it also says about Esau, the heart of every one of them is deep.
Yeah.
You know, they're wiser than Daniel. So, you know, the information is out there. It's just whether or not you're looking and digging in the right places.
The book, who is Edom and Esau? The book.
Spirit's with you.
Yeah, that's why the scripture says, rightly defining the word of truth. You can read that in 2 Timothy.
All right, this is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Yeah, it says study to show thyself approved. Whenever you study, you do cross-referencing. You go precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. That's the proper way of studying the scriptures. Because there's certain things in Genesis that's still coming to pass, you know, that's coming to pass into this day.
That's right.
You know, certain things that our forefather Abraham actually constituted for us as a nation that's going to be fulfilled in these days. You know, you got to go to Revelations, you got to go to Jeremiah, Isaiah. You got to go precept upon precept to unlock the full understanding of these scriptures. You can't just read this as a novel. And that's how you know that your pastors and your deacons in the churches, any so-called representative of the scriptures, they're duping you, man. Because when you go in those churches, they just want to read you a couple of hymns.
Yeah, Jesus wept.
And Jesus wept. And start hitting a couple of tunes and pass that collection plate around. Next thing you know, you out about goddamn $85. Because your pastor doing what? Pacifying you, keeping you sleeping.
Or they'll guilt you into tithing.
Yeah.
Y'all are sitting in this AC building.
Right.
Y'all are watching these flat screens. Nigga, I don't need these flat screens.
Oh, the $5,000 suit on.
Hey,
You looking for that blessing, but you ain't paid your tithes.
you ain't paid your tithes.
That's how they get you, man. Because that's that witchcraft. That's the source. But you can read that over.
All right, this is
That's how you know the Lord's not dealing with all these mega churches. He's not dealing with the the palatial buildings. He's dealing out here in the streets. Because what? Where do we figure that out at? In the scriptures. There's plenty of scriptures where it tells you the marketplace. Proverbs the 1st chapter. Was that Proverbs the 8th chapter? Wisdom cry without in the streets, not in the churches. Matter of fact,
The highways and the hedges.
Hold that real fast. Yeah, Acts 7:48.
Somebody got that. Let me sweat bullets. This is Acts chapter 7 and verse 48. It says, "Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands."
Yeah, howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands. And what's that? That's structured buildings. Whenever a temple is created, did not it take individuals to craft it, to lay out the blueprint, to build the building? And you see how those certain churches are designed. You can see that took a lot of work,
Yes, money.
a lot of money.
Architectures with a lot of. You can be a lot. You get a lot of money. You can be in church architecture.
Hell yeah, you make billions. I was gonna say billions.
Architects.
You make millions of dollars. Depending on your contract, yeah, like you said, the architect, because some of them, whoever that's laying it out, they very specific on how they want that building structure. You want the light shining, because it's all what to keep the people hypnotized. The better the building looks, the more money you can create.
That niggas ain't going to them. Niggas ain't going to them churches no more where, it's all next to a dirt road and the graveyard next to it. Them old churches. Ain't no instruments in it.
Right.
Just-
Gravel rock. You got
The gravel rock.
But that's why Eddie Longstead got his followers even after that situation with them men coming out.
Yeah.
Sex
And
allegations.
it's not only just the churches, it's the package that comes with the church. They have all kind of programs for children, programs for the elderly. They got all kind of things intact where when you in the church, if you've been around for say for instance you've been in the church 15, 20 years, you in the church. You're not just a associate in the church, you in and leave. You pretty much tied in a knot, man.
That's why every Sunday,
Totally invested.
what does the preacher do every Sunday in these nigga churches? Anybody that's looking for a church home?
Yeah.
all the visitors staying up.
Yeah, but even after the visitors, anybody that's looking for a church home, come on down.
Yeah.
And he gonna sit there, he gonna keep you with your hair down, with your eyes closed, for fucking 20 minutes until somebody, I need a church home.
Yeah.
And what that means? Sign here, give me all your information.
Contracts.
Now you in this,
Welcome, baby.
Slave.
Hey, that's the spirit. That brother had a testimony. That brother had a testimony yesterday, not to cut you off, about the pastor saying pray for him. Tell that story. I mean, if it,
So when I first came into the truth, I had came into it about 3 months, and basically the family found out, and they was just trying to pull us back into the Christianity. So to make a long story short, they ended up calling the family church pastor over to sit down with everybody and have a Bible study, and he was basically lying in front of us. He couldn't break down the scriptures, and so it was a question came about with are the Negroes and Jews of the Bible, and he was like, no. And he kind of dropped his head I didn't supposed to say that because I know the truth. I mean,
He lied.
He was lying.
He was lying. He wasn't coming from a ignorant place. He was coming from a lying place.
But
See?
towards the end of the Bible study, whatever it was, they came to me. He was like, hey brother, I see something in you. I need you to pray for me.
What?
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
you and
That's the thing the men said.
I'm gonna pray death on your ass, nigga.
You should have stood off and put some curses on top of his fucking head. But you
What's your pot?
What did you just say?
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
I got a quick precept too.
But keep on that act, then we're gonna go to that.
All right, Acts 7 and 48. Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands.
Yeah, it says, howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands. That's churches, man. And it don't matter which church, whether you're Catholic, whether you're Christian, whether you're Episcopal, Methodist,
Yeah.
you Pentecostal, whatever so-called faction, religious faction, all of them came out of the Roman Catholic Church, man. Because when those was Jake's, just different spins of religions, man. They all have basically the same nucleus of nucleus point of view, but it's just different branches to the same tree, man.
Right. Dealing with the Catholic Church and them saying all that was political move. It was all political.
Right.
The richest corporation on the earth is Vatican City, the Catholic Church institution. That's what the Catholic Church institution.
That's why if I made that to your point, in New York, This lady was telling me how Rockefeller, the foundation, they have this, I think it's called the Inner Church or something like that. It's a big building in New York where if any religion, any church is headquarters out of that.
The interfaith.
The Interfaith Church, yeah. And basically it's free. You know, it's free of rent. But what's going on now is the expenses of the maintenance of that building is becoming too much. So that shit is breaking up. And that's spiritual because the Lord is breaking down all these strongholds, man. That Psalms 127, beautiful.
If I may say, Yahweh Shai said in Matthew 17 that with men it's impossible, but with the Most High Yahweh, nothing's impossible. It is it's in Matthew, John, and Mark 10 chapter. It's in Matthew twice.
I know, yep.
Matthew 17
Yep.
and 19. But when you look up those words, impossible, when you look up impossible, I think it's like some out of Doso, I can't pronounce it in the Greek, but it means weak. It means without strength. So anything dealing with the carnal man, it's impossible. Meaning it's weak, it's without strength, it's not stable, nothing.
It's not necessary.
When you look up the word possible, it's literally the exact opposite.
That's right.
Oh,
See?
Powerful, man. Keep on that.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll read from the top again. Acts 7:48. Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet.
And that's why the Lord even destroyed the, which he didn't, of course, destroy, but the Most High, after the Lord passed, the temple actually rent in half. And that was one of our that was our holiest center, man.
yep.
The veil split, and that was to represent that the temple would be inside of man. And it's all about the internalization, yourself being built up, you know?
Doing away with the carnal law.
The carnal law, the carnal ordinances. Tell you that in Hebrews.
Bringing that second covenant.
Some more on that, or that's it?
Right. 49. All right, verse 49. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will you build me, saith the Lord, or what is the place of my rest?
Yeah, the Lord created everything. The Lord created the heavens and the earth. The Lord looking at your church. It don't matter how much money is going inside of your church. You think he's fascinated with that? He's mesmerized by your church. He created a whole entire universe, man. Yeah. The galaxy.
The invisible and the visible.
Invisible and the visible, like it tells you in Colossians. Look how beautiful the galaxy is on a whole. You look at planets like Jupiter. You look at planets like Saturn. That's glorious in itself, man. The stars, certain asteroids, and just how we don't even know how the whole world is designed. You think the Lord give a mother F about your church?
Yeah, we don't even know how the outside of the world.
You're First Baptist of Atlanta.
That's why Yahweh Shai was talking about. Like, y'all building the church, man. I got mansions.
Right.
Oh, it tells you,
I
yeah.
got mansions.
Why he said the kingdom of heaven is inside of you.
Yeah.
Praise
You
God.
got within you. That's it. That's all.
I got Jeremiah 23:1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastures, said the Lord.
Yeah, and those pastors aren't truly pastors, because the pastor means one that leads to the pasture. They're wolves, man. Their whole thing is to lure you out your finances, man. to keep you in a perpetual slavery and to keep you always needing them. That's why I tell you what's that Micah the 3rd chapter, how they devour the flesh. They tear you apart through tithing, 10%. Then you gotta keep dumping more money in the collection plate, and that's why the pastor lives deliciously, and you always in perpetual poverty, man. That's everybody in the church.
Well, the pastor gotta have a big house.
You know,
And you have these individuals that speak out
Yep.
about the church. They might have been in the church for 35 years. Because some of the people, man, they damn near been in the church so long, they need to fucking get a retirement plan out of that, man.
Right.
40 plus years. But you have certain people that speak out, and they'll speak about how the pastor was molesting little girls, even molesting little boys,
molested them.
molested them.
Jake too.
Yeah, man. Oh, it'd be Jake.
A lot of them gospel singers, they flaming homosexuals, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got an uncle that was or is in his church, and he had told me, you know, this is when I first came to the truth. He was telling me, he was like, man, if it's one thing you don't want to, if you don't really want to, you know, basically saying you don't want to know how bad a church is, don't work for the church or be in the back scenes of it. Because he was telling me, he was like, man, you know, he done seen firsthand it, old ladies you know, this is probably like 08, 09. This is like 09, 2010 after the recession of 2008. And this is in Ohio, so Ohio got hit hard. So, you know, back then people, that was one of the highest foreclosure rates in this country. So he was like, you know, people that's been in the church, like you said, 10, 15, 20 years, devout members, giving their tithes and offerings. But then they fall down bad and I just need $500 to keep my house. And the church will give them that excuse. Well, pray on it, sister, we'll pray for you. Nigga, I need money.
That's that scripture too.
Yeah, the scriptures say, how can you tell a man go and you know what I'm saying?
Keep warm and stuff like that,
Yep.
but you don't give them.
You don't give them nothing.
Yeah, physically.
That's sin, man.
Yeah, that's a transgression, man.
Yeah.
And these preachers know they got an account, a fat ass account with 3, 4, 5 mil in it, and you can't give a woman $500 to keep her house.
Fat ass pastor said, I didn't buy it off the church fund. I bought it because I'm her husband. So to speak.
Oh yeah, the guy with the
Of course.
Ferrari truck. It was
Yeah,
a
the
Ferrari truck.
Yeah, that's why the most gonna kill a lot of those pastors, man. Cause those the biggest of niggas.
Well,
They
we-
worse than, truthfully speaking, those pastors are worse than rappers, man. At least rappers, those nigga rappers, especially back in the day, they would speak about they hustle as a means of making money to feed. You know, of course, they niggas is not justification, but they plain and simple. They say, yeah, I'm being evil, alright.
Right.
Yeah,
But
he
he-
told the truth. Yeah.
Call it straight.
But these church pastors, what do? They're self-proclaimed righteous men, just, and they'll call themselves apostles. They'll call themselves, you know, some of them will name themselves after certain, or they'll name their church after Peter, or after Paul, after certain notable members in the scriptures, and they always about Jesus. What would Jesus do?
Bishop this, bishop that,
this.
deacon.
Why they robbing the living shit out of the congregation?
We were just talking about how Jake wants to build a so-called black community. I believe since the 80s, the black churches took what, $420 billion.
420 billion.
You can build that.
But we could have had Wakanda 2-3 times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Could have reestablished Africa. They was really serious about Africa.
Right.
You know, they could have built Africa back up.
All them African
420
Episcopal churches.
420 billion.
African Episcopal Church would have
Yeah.
been Wakanda Episcopal Church. If he would have used the
And we could have had Wakanda powers and all with that money.
They could have had a vibranium and all.
And that's what did they say? That's why it's such a. That's why America stays rich off of the mass consumerism of blacks, and a lot of that money comes throughout the churches and those church pastors. They spend a lot of money in the community, and not the community as in building it up, but as in really America, man. They all about consuming, you know, purchasing clothing, purchasing nicer vehicles, these new model Benzes, all these different jets, whatever.
Yup.
You know, bigger buildings to make more money. It's all a big ass scam, man.
That's crazy.
Got some more than that.
I'm gonna skip down to 11. This is 23 and 11. For both prophet and priest are profane.
Both what?
Both prophet and priest are profane.
Both prophet and priest are profane, which the word profane means to be outside the temple, meaning to be unholy. They're unclean through the adulterous acts that they do, through the pork that they eat. Get Isaiah the 65th chapter. Continue.
That's right.
Yea, in my house I have found their wickedness, said the Lord.
In his house he has found their wickedness. What's his house? The world, man. And the Lord has the angels that's constantly monitoring and keeping an eye on everybody. And he sees all kind of wickedness going on. That's why it tells you that what? In Hosea the 4th chapter, that there's no truth throughout the land. But the thing is, the land is full of churches.
Yeah.
So how is there there's no truth throughout the land? Because it's nothing but lies and deception. And they're pushing that same vibration in these different Israelite groups, man.
Yeah.
These same groups, you have certain leaders, they're all about defrauding their congregation, man.
That's right.
Stealing all kind of money from them. Which we just heard about this little nigga. I heard about this little nigga recently, man. Hit somebody up for over 60K, man. You know? And he's supposed to be a so-called leader of a group. On that, Israelite.
Yeah. Yeah. We ain't gonna put your name out there. We ain't gonna put your name
Man,
out
we ain't gonna
there.
put your name out there. You know.
Just
who
know
you
we
are.
know, man.
So-called, he came to the camp a couple times, man. So one of them guys that come off like he's just super righteous. Know all the scriptures back of the hand. Quote scriptures like, dang, that's in the Bible.
Read it backwards.
Read it backwards. You over there scamming, man, being a nigga. Hey, what does the scripture speak about fraud? What does the scripture speak about stealing, man?
Walking honestly.
Yeah, walking honestly.
Thou
amongst the
shalt not
Gentiles.
steal nor covet that which is thy neighbor.
Easy. That's milk, man.
That's the Ten
Baby,
Commandments.
that's a baby precept. Thou shalt not steal. Everybody in the world should know that scripture.
Right. The heathen know that. Hey,
heathen know that.
but that's why the Lord said when he rejected Israel that thou shalt be no priest to me.
Yeah.
Because in the lying and stealing and all that.
Yeah, den of thieves. You steal some more of that?
Yarabak.
I don't know how you.
Good.
I don't know how you can sleep at night like that.
This is Jeremiah 23 and verse
They
12.
crept in unawares.
Wherefore their ways shall be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness.
Yeah, and that means that you'll never be able to stable. You'll never be able to be stable, and you'll never actually have a center of clarity, man. It says slippery ways in darkness. You know, you'll be stumbling and falling all over the goddamn place. That sounds like a booby trap.
Yeah.
And what did the Lord say? He's a stone of stumbling and a gin of basically a gin of confusion. Because the same table that you go to for comfort and wisdom is the same words that's condemning a lot of you guys, man. That's why the scriptures it speaks so heavily about condemnation too. For you individuals that are all about robbing, all about scheming and plotting. That's nigga one-on-one, man.
Right.
Jake is all about what? Getting over.
That's in your conscience. Man. You don't feel bad.
And niggas don't feel bad.
Hell nah,
And
man.
that's why the Lord has to judge you. And what does it tell you in Ecclesiastes? Rejoice, O man, in thy youth. You know? But for all these things you shall come to judgment. You got that? Isaiah 65?
I start at verse 2. Isaiah 65 and 2. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good.
Yeah, so the Lord says he spread out his hand all the way to a rebellious people, which the word rebel is back, and bel goes into the word bellum, which means war. Our people made war with their power that comforted them and that designed them, man.
Yeah.
How wicked can you be? You actually coming against your maker, your creator. Hey, you watch certain movies like the old Rocky. I'm pretty sure you brothers remember he was training the young lad, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
He was giving him
Rocky
the whole.
IV.
Tommy Morrison.
Yeah, he was getting bad with it, but what happened? He wanted to come against Rocky. He started to get the limelight. He started to get a little bit of fame and notoriety. Now he's trying to take over the honcho, man.
Rocky knocked his ass out.
Rocky had to show him how, show him how it's done, man. It's only one Rocky.
Hey, thou art not the will of the master.
Yeah, you never bite the hand that feeds you.
Never bite the hand that's feed you.
Literally.
That's very disloyal. You kill a dog that does something like that. You hear this? You've been feeding this dog constantly every day,
Picking his shit up.
picking his shit up, taking it. You took him out the shelter. You know, he probably had mange.
He was sick.
He was sick, jacked up, and you bite the hand that fed him.
That mange.
Put that dog down, man. That's why a lot of Jake got to get put down. See?
It says, which walketh in a way that was not good after their own thoughts.
After their own thoughts, their own intents, their own wicked imaginations. Like the Lord said, what? The Lord made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Continue.
Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Which remain among the graves.
Oh, like prime example, like adultery. Here it is, you got a whole woman at the house, but you want your neighbor's wife.
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
A lot of pastors do that.
And a lot of if not all of them.
Yeah.
You can't find no single chick that's out there.
These pastors, they because what's like you said, the goodies of the church, and one of those goodies is marriage counsel.
Yeah.
So here it is, the pastor, he want to have a one-on-one with the husband, so he could get all the dirt on the shit, so he can go talk to your wife, and then he could go and comfort her. And while he comforted, he trying to slide some fingers up that bakwa, you know?
Yeah.
Kwaba.
It's not an arrow in that quiver.
Yeah, that's what he trying to do.
And that's why the scripture says don't sit in the midst of women. And that did not pastors do that?
Sitting out with our neighbor's wife.
Because what Jake doing there amongst women? Jake be turned up, start getting some of that drinking. Like I say, in the midst of wine, you get that wine and you start to get pumped up, get cocky,
Courage.
get courage. And those pastors, see, the thing is with a pastor, it's mandatory to have you have to be charismatic. All pastors are charismatic. Now, we may not see them as that, but a lot of people, they see them as it. They have the good character, they have the nicest suits, they just have a way with words, they know how to encourage you, they know how to bring you up from your lowness.
Yeah.
Hey, well, it's a known thing that most of these pastors that you see, most of the pastors that came out of the 60s and 70s and 80s were ex-pimps. Ex-pimps left the pimp game when they started getting Trump charges and went legally pimping and became pastors. So who's more charismatic in the planet than a pimp?
From pimping to the poor people.
They wordplay. That's they money maker. That's their bread and butter. They words. They
Having communion with your girl in the back of the church.
Hell yeah.
Now with Welch is great.
Hey,
Jesus.
Hey, the funny part about it too, a lot of guys will know that shit. It'll be simps. It'll be simps in the church. Know they women getting smashed out by the pastor. They chunking it up. And it is what it is. That's how a lot of guys think. Cause see, the thing is in this world, even adultery is desensitized.
Yeah.
You got a lot of men. They know they're getting cheated on, man. Woman, that I don't want to know. Right when they woman goddamn get off work, they jumping in the goddamn shower. You know, they claim they getting off work, they jumping in the shower. Nah, she ain't getting off work. She getting off work right.
Yeah.
Got some on that.
Damn, man.
She getting worked off.
Jealousy scripture.
All right, verse 3. And people that provoketh me to anger continually.
Man, that should piss you off, man. All the wickedness that our people do, and they don't even want to turn from it. Our people are comfortable with being evil, man. Evil is the new good, and good is the new evil. You had that in that movie, Wicked is Good.
Maze Runner.
Wicked is Good. Now look at us. We're pushing out the truth. We're pushing out the Bible. Back in the ancient world, like even in Greece, being a philosopher, that was. You know how many people would cleave onto that practice? The philosophers during that time, the Plato's, the Socrates, Aristotle, you know, all these different individuals that were philosophers. You would have mega churches, so to speak, mega congregations or schools, a lot of schools that will actually come to them for scholarship. People don't really cleave onto righteousness and truth and knowledge anymore. They just cleave to filthiness, man.
Hey, well, to prove the brother point, looking at Alexander the Great. If it wasn't for Aristotle, who was a black man by the way, Israelite, if it wasn't for Aristotle, okay, Alexander the Great wouldn't be the great. He would just be Alexander because it was under his tutelage that he got. Because matter of fact, Philip of Macedonia sought him out, and he had one guy, but then he had one guy, but then Aristotle came to talk, and he tutored him. For all them years. So his understanding of certain things and how he looked at the world.
Intricate details of the battlefield.
Yeah, like certain things that Alexander the Great will go into, his word and speeches, is through the understanding that he got from the philosophers.
I got a precept if you don't mind on that. This is Galatians 4:1. And it says, now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differ nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father.
And a lot of times those tutors and governors, which the word governor is one who rules over. A lot of those tutors and governors, even during that time, were philosophers. Wise men, counselors, advisors, whatever. What is that? Seers, advisors. Whatever you call them, those were the wise men that you would actually have to go under. And you would have to be under their tutelage for a number of years to get polished in the ways of wisdom, get polished in the workings of how to conduct a kingdom, or how to take over a province and how to manage a province.
Yep.
You needed that skill, That's why I said until a time appointed, because you're an apprentice under that practice, and you get built up so that you'll be able to actually. You basically absorb a lot of that wisdom from that individual and become a duplicated image of him, man.
Yeah.
That's what Confucius was going into. Let me see. I think it was like the Qing dynasty in China. Confucius was one of. He was in like the royal court, and all these these Moabites and these Ammonites, they praised Confucius for his wisdom, which of course, like the brothers kind of alluded to the schools and like a religion came out of his philosophy, Taoism. Taoism or the Tao, which translated to is called the way. And these corporate businessmen, they still look to that Hong Kong and Beijing, they look to that philosophy going all the way back, talking about maybe 2,500 years or
A lot of
so.
them fly over to China to practice to that.
Yeah,
practice
these
that
Edomites
wisdom.
do that. They'll
Yeah,
fly
yeah.
overseas, and they'll go and they'll actually learn, and they'll become, stockbroker, whatever, in certain businesses and corporations.
Yep.
And they'll say, well, you got to read this book. This is Confucius' book, or this is this philosopher's book.
The Art of War.
Yeah, The Art of
The
War
Art
by
of War.
Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu.
Right? Sun
a
Tzu is one of them
mandatory
as
read.
well. Yeah, mandatory. Sun Tzu is a mandatory read out there.
Yeah.
If you want to be
On a level.
yeah, on a level up there in these corporations, you got to read Sun Tzu in Japan. So it was held to a high esteem back then, but even now it's held to a high esteem. But it's not something where the whole world looks at these men as somebody that's should at least be, awarded some kind of attention. The scripture says that the poor man saveth the city or delivereth the city by his wisdom.
But no man regards.
But no man regards to layeth it to heart, man. And that's this world today.
Damn.
Yeah, because this world has been dumped down, man. Dumped down. Just like we're going into, the reason why we went into that is because how the world actually played unto a level of wisdom, even when it wasn't even at its peak. Everybody knew it, for the most part, a lot of people knew that wisdom was the way to extended and healthy life, to satisfaction, so to speak, and happiness. People don't give a hell about wisdom nowadays. Ignorance is bliss, as the saying goes.
Yeah, niggas don't give a
YOLO, you only live once. With that Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, everybody in that Wisdom of Solomon 2 mentality. Yeah. Got some more on that?
2 Peter 3, where it says they are willingly ignorant of. Jake just put out here willingly ignorant. Jake out here willingly ignorant to information. Nah, I'd rather go live and just stand there and look at the screen.
Dumb shit.
Doing nothing.
You got some more on that?
Yeah, come on. Verse 3, people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face.
And whenever somebody provoke you, that means they're really trying you. You ever ask somebody just trying to provoke you to anger? They try to push your button like a woman, man. That's what a fucking woman does.
Yeah.
Do whatever it takes to try to push your button.
To get a reaction. To get a reaction.
Yeah. What the scripture says something to the point of like pulling of a dog's ear. Because whenever you pull a dog's ear, it's gonna bite your ass, man. So that's what our people do to the Lord. The Lord, they spiritually pull the Most High's ear, man. They push his buttons by doing dumb shit, going against what they were created to do. You a man, but you having sex with men.
Right.
And that's but the thing is, it's logical now. You can say it sounds simple, but people like, so? Men aren't supposed to have sex with men. I think I was talking to this one, I don't even want to get it. I was talking to this one nigga, and I said something about, I think we were talking about from natural to unnatural. And I was like, yeah, like bestiality. I was like, I think I said, I forget how it got, I didn't just bust out with it, but it was something going into what's natural and what's not natural. But I was like, yeah, people having sex with animals, that's very unnatural. You're not supposed to have sex. It's not in man's nature. But he said, well, what? I'm just thinking, oh my fuck, this guy's trying to philosophize to me how it's actually. He said, well, naturally, man is really naturally not supposed to, but man, is some weird shit. I don't even know how he said it, but I just remember that I was just like, all right, bro.
That's why the scripture says, "He that justifies the wicked shall basically be destroyed." Man.
It was another nigga, evil, probably about a good 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know how we got on this topic, but you be around Jake and you end up talking here and there, and then next thing you know, Jake is scratching track. But we're talking about trade. People in South America that be eating people. I'm like, man, you gotta be out your mind to eat somebody. Then he was like, well, he was like, you gotta think, they are in South America. If we was out there, we'd probably be eating people too. But I was like,
clearly, you're not supposed to ingest human flesh because it's a condition that come along with it where you get the shakes.
They show you that in the book.
They show you in the book of Eli. They show you that. They had to put your hand out and if you shake it, you a fucking cannibal, man.
Hell yeah.
But clearly you're not supposed to do that.
Your body's not.
You become mad,
Your
too.
body's not designed to eat another fucking human like a goddamn animal, man. But Jake, see our people are they become animals. They have truly become
Brute
beasts.
beast. Second Peter's 2:12.
They're the beast people. That's the new name for Jake. Beast people, man.
Beast people.
They ain't even people no more.
Beware the beast, man.
Beware of the beast man. The beast men.
The beastites.
Beware the beastites.
Beastiites. They ain't even Israelites no more.
The beastialites. And
They ain't niggas no more.
bestiality.
Nigga is a level up from Jake now, man.
Now they was niggas in the 90s.
There was a niggas
level
in the
down.
90s. None of just the beast people.
Well, no, they went to another degree. You know, degree means really the downgrade.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they went to another degree from
Congratulations.
Israelites to bestialites.
Niggas is fly. These niggas is fly cavemen.
Yeah. They literally took Esau's position in the earth.
Yeah.
Some more.
People that provoke me to anger continually to my face.
Continually to my face, the Lord sees everything you're doing. You have individuals, they'll have their Jesus piece, they'll have their Jesus tattoo and committing adultery, man.
Yeah, the hands.
Bro, yeah, the Jesus hands
Every rapper.
by doing wickedness.
Every rapper will have the first thing they get is a goddamn Jesus piece.
Yeah.
But what'd you do to get that Jesus piece?
Right.
Had to see that director's couch,
Jesus approves this message.
Casting couch.
that casting couch.
Hey, well, you know, on the episode of the Boondocks, Tyler Perry. And he said Jesus came to him, and it was like, what else do we need? The man, white Jesus came to the man and said, we need sexy men.
Sexy men.
That's when they had, you know, the Shamar Moore and all
Yeah.
that character come in there. Because white Jesus is a goddamn faggot.
Yeah.
White Jesus told him to be a drag.
Right.
I believe it too.
Hell yeah.
White Jesus.
Come on, that.
It says that sacrifices been gardens and burn of incense upon altars of brick.
Sacrificing guards and burn incense upon altars of brick, sacrificing to idols. Because back then, they were just full-fledged worship to idols. They know they ain't supposed to be worshiping Baal, but they sacrificing in this temple.
Yep.
Going, having sex with the temple prostitutes. Just committing sin upon sin. During the time of Exodus, Moses is on the mount receiving the 613 directly from the Most High.
Right.
What Jake doing down there? Jake could have been waiting. How long was it? In the space of 40 days?
2 months.
Jake could have just chilled for 2 months. Here it is, you done seen 10, over 10 miracles that just happened in Egypt, and you on your way out of slavery.
And split through the Red Sea and
You know,
all.
the man just split the Red Sea.
Jeez.
Now created all these different miracles, did all these miracles in front of you. Chariot of the Lord, the pillar of fire by day, the cloud by day, the pillar of fire
Manna.
by night is leading you.
Angels.
Manna, quail. Niggas just got the earth just opened wide open. I think that's before that. The record Dathan and Abiram. But all these miracles is happening right before you, and you trying to worship a golden calf.
Hey, it was like the Boondocks, like Cesario One just said, the episode with Martin Luther King. He's like, well, is this what all those ass whoopers was about? That's Jake. Like you said, Jake, 40 days. That ain't nothing.
That ain't nothing, man.
But Jake just said, to hell with it. Give us the golden calf,
To worship this.
and we'll worship this. What?
The funny part about it is, hey, they're still talking junk. The funny part about it is, they created the cow. It's one thing like during the time, what's that in the Apocrypha, Bel and the Dragon. It's one thing where they actually believe, now I'm not justifying it, but they had a little bit more logic. They believed that idol was actually living. Because they seen that the food that they was putting in front of them was gone. But these niggas actually asked Aaron to actually take the gold and create a calf out of it and worship it. You know that you built the idol to worship. But that's Jake, man.
Romans the first chapter, they worship the creature more than the creator.
Worship the creature way more than the creator.
Jake just gotta die, man.
Now the new worship is the black woman. She's the new golden calf.
They had a goddamn heifer.
Yeah, the heifer.
That's why that's what old women call each other. They call each other heifers.
Heifer.
Right. Yeah, because that's what they worship.
The big booty worship.
Yeah, that worship the brother that went into the worship of the ass.
Oh, man.
Ass worship his spirit.
Oh, man. That's a damn
Well, you got booty gangs out here.
Yeah.
Look at Instagram. That's just the worship of ass.
Yeah, that's all Instagram.
Strippers.
got them Instagram.
That's the way.
That's why it was. That's why I was down for all that long time.
And when that shit got down, Jay got
Jay
mad.
was like, I can't scroll.
It was that you saw that video. Did you see that video where that guy called the Comcast? He's like, my internet is down and I can't beat my fucking me. He said, I went to the bar, I'm drunk, I didn't get no pussy, and I can't beat. He was hot.
It was
He was hot.
Hey, Jake, hey, man, Jake was hot, man. So I'm gonna read the scripture. This is Micah 6:3. Oh, my people, what have I done unto thee, and wherein have I wearied thee? This is the Most High speaking.
Yeah, that's the most high.
Testify against me. But this is the Lord saying, yo, if you got an alt, if you know, the Lord is like, what the hell did I do?
Yeah, and the
Right?
Lord,
What more could I have?
that's
Right.
powerful. The Lord said, testify against me. You got words to
do you
speak.
want?
Because back then you would need you would need a prophet or an individual, as it is written in Jeremiah 15, Moses and Samuel. You would need a representative to actually speak according as far as your words go. Just like in court, you need a lawyer. You need an individual that can actually speak directly. Speak on your behalf. But the Lord likes to speak. You got. I'm all ears to hear what the hell you got to say. Keep going.
So it says, for I brought thee up out of the land of Egypt,
For I brought thee up out of the land of Egypt personally, continue.
and redeemed thee out of the house of servants.
And that destroyer was Yahweh Shah. It tells you that in Corinthians. And brought thee up from the house of servants. Keep going.
It says, and I sent before thee Moses, Aaron, and Miriam.
Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, which were the leaders during that time. Continue.
O my people, remember now what Balak, king of Moab, consulted, and what Balaam, the son of Beor, answered him from Shittim unto Gilgal. So, because that's in the law, Numbers. You got basically remember here it is. I brought you out of Egypt, and the heathen wanted to curse you, and I used the heathen to put a blessing on you. What have I done to you? I've done all these great things, man.
Donkey talk.
Right.
Listen to that.
So it says that ye may know the righteousness of the Lord.
Got no.
And I'm gonna stop there. But so the Lord's like, look, what have I done? Testify against me then.
That's a bad
Tell me
right
what
there.
I did wrong. Okay? Bring up your
charges.
Yeah, your charges, your evidence against me.
Damn,
Man,
that's heavy.
this part of the Lord is gonna fuck 2/3 of you so-called black Hispanics and Native Americans up.
And
And
that's
guess
like-
what? We ain't gonna shit. Hey, what Mary J. Blige said? I ain't gonna cry.
Not
I
gonna
ain't
cry
shed
no
my
more.
tears. No more. That's it.
Not gonna cry no more, man.
Drop a single tear for a nigga, man.
Cause niggas deserve it.
You
Jake
deserve
deserved
it.
That's when you be like, damn, we did deserve slavery. We
Yeah.
deserve every single ass kicking that we getting as a people. We
Yep,
deserved
we
every
deserve it.
we deserved every whip because of all the wickedness that we did, man. We had opportunity to be on top,
Yep.
and we dropped the ball.
Yeah.
We had opportunity to rule over the nations. What do we want to do? Be subject unto the nations.
Set a king up.
Set a king up.
Because we didn't want the Lord to be the king, so we need a physical man to set us up. It was not even supposed to be so.
Yeah.
Right.
And we just came out of harsh punishment. It ain't like our people never been in harsh punishment like slavery. They back in Egypt, they already did a 430 plus
Yeah, 400 year bid.
400 year bid.
1-year bid. Yeah.
They fuck it all up. Now that's why we here 400 plus years again, man. Because of all the things before. We went under the king of Moab for 18 years.
Yep.
Went under all these different heathenistic kings. Every time we got free, we wanted to worship other gods.
Yep.
You said you had something?
Yeah. This is Isaiah 1:4. And it says, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of
Yeah,
evildoers.
and that word laden means piled and caked over.
Yeah, just glazed.
Glazed.
Like a Krispy Kreme donut, man.
Like when you
Double dipped.
say for instance you laden in a truck, you have them big long trucks and you got a laden, and certain people be truck stackers and they just putting them big ass boxes upon boxes. You gotta stack it as high as it get, because when you're dealing with full load truck, you ain't gonna drive half a load. You're gonna try to fill that thing up to the you're gonna try to compress it as much as possible. And that's Jake with sin, man. There's never enough sin with a nigga.
Yeah, you see Jake and Jacob be tatted up, right? Jake, it used to be a time where like, you got the old ass lady she have like a little Minnie Mouse tattoo. That's it. She got her one little sin in, and that's that. Jake will be, nah, fuck that. Cover this up with another tattoo, and then put another tattoo. Jake be having tattoos in place like, bruh, you got tattoos in your mouth?
Right.
Jake have tattoos all on your face,
All on the bottom of the foot. Like, bruh.
top of the head, like Birdman.
That's all,
big
man.
demon.
Got tattoos all on their
Got a
fingers. It's like,
Brother
nigga,
got tattoos
why
on
are
his
you
chest.
putting that? How you put that on your finger?
This nigga, young LA, he went to the tattoo shop. He told her, hey man, tap me all the way up. I don't want no more skin. That's what he told me. That's Jake when he comes to sing.
Jake, man.
Jake be like, I can fit a little bit more sin over here.
Yeah.
I probably get a little bit.
Gucci man got an ice cream cone on his damn face.
See?
You know?
No, let me read a little bit.
I got one after you.
Jake is infatuated with wickedness. It starts to become an addiction. Jake is addicted to sin, transgressions. Keep on.
Come. It says a seed of evildoers,
Seed of evildoers. Continue.
children that are corrupted. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel.
Just like it said in Isaiah 65. That's that provocation again. Continue.
They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backwards.
Going away backwards. So that means they become full-scale degenerates. Everything that, because when generations pass from one generation to the next, you would think it progresses. It's retrogressive, man.
Yeah.
We become more weaker and more feeble than our predecessors.
And King Solomon spoke on that.
Yeah.
He said everything is vanity and vexation of spirit because you labor and you leave it to a son and you don't know whether you're going to be a fool or not, man.
And the son was a fool.
And his son was a fool.
Look at us now. Look at us as a people now.
I got one more verse for you. Verse 5, Isaiah 1 and 5. It says, why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint.
And that represents the leaders. The heads at the time was always the leaders, the ones that would direct and were the ones that actually hold the frame of the nation. You had the Pharisees and Sadducees. They was all about
The Sanhedrin.
and the Sanhedrin. They was all about bribes and gifts. That's why they was selling in the what's that? Not the temple. They was at the table.
In the temple. Those are the
Yeah,
temple.
and the table in the temple selling doves. You know, getting the doves off, making deals with Jake.
Charging usury with the shaquaya, with shekels.
Even Jake in the Catholic Church, when the origins of it started, they had what's that? Cremus solicitatianus, where they you would actually get your sins and stuff forgiven by money. So the more money you give, the more sins you commit, it evens out. Yeah, it's paying for your sins. That's why when you watch a lot of these movies, you'll see individuals, they'll go into what's that? The confession room.
Yeah.
And it'd be big boy criminals. You know, they might talk to the individual in the confession, and they'll tell them, you know, all the sins that they did, you know, how many people they killed, you know, how many drugs they sold, and how much corruption they did. And whoever's in the confession, they just accept it and tell you everything's
Yeah,
gonna be all
say
right.
3 Hail Marys and
Yes, give them a couple of Hail Marys.
Yeah, these mobbing forces, these mob bosses go in there, you know, confess their sins and stuff. You know, it's all corruption in there.
It's all kind of corruption. And the corruption is thick, man. You can't name it all. It's corruption upon corruption upon corruption. That's why the Lord, this whole world has to just be changed, man.
well, I was gonna say I'll quote it, but it says, "Woe to the bloody city that's full of lies and robbery." So
You done with that in Isaiah 65?
One verse.
Start with Israel.
Or the fourth verse, Jake?
Yeah, come on, we gotta get that one. Isaiah 65 and 4, which remain among the graves and lodge in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh.
Eat swine's flesh, which swine is pork. Leviticus 11 and 7, real fast.
Yeah, Pope.
that Pope.
Pope chops.
Your mama grew up on Pope. Your granddaddy grew up on Pope. You gonna eat Pope.
Because you ain't getting nothing else.
All right, this is Leviticus 11 and 7. And the swine, though he
The
divide,
swine is pork, man. See?
and the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
Yeah, he chewed not the cud, because when animals back in the dietary in the law, the ones that were permissible to eat in the dietary law, the ones that would chew the cud, that would be clean, as well as was that cloven-footed? Because chewing the cud represents the grass, such as cows. You have
Oxen, lambs, goats.
Yeah, like the cow, for instance. The cow has two stomachs, and it basically it processes everything out.
I think it's 4
Oh,
stomachs.
4 stomachs, excuse me. And then they'll regurgitate it, and they chew it up again, and that's actually purifying their vessel because they're receiving a lot of chlorophyll. And still, even with red meats such as beef and things of that nature, you're supposed to still eat that in moderation because your body, it takes a lot for our bodies to even break that down. How much more animal that's not even doing that? The pork doesn't, the pig doesn't have 4 stomachs. The pork is not, the pig or the boar, they're known to eat trash. It's a human trash, not a human, but it's an animal trash can.
They eat dead animals.
Dead animal carcasses. They don't sweat. That's why they're always wallowing in filth, wallowing in mud because their sweat glands aren't activated. They don't have them installed.
Yeah.
So that they'll actually always wallow in the mud for
stay cool off.
Temperature.
And you know, like chicken, beef, lamb, fish, it all has a recommended cooking temperature. And they'll tell you, you might cook chicken at like 170. And beef a different temperature, of course, well done, of course, because you're not supposed to eat the blood of an animal. Right, but with pork, man, you could throw that pork in 1,000 degrees and eat it, and it's still not a recommended temperature.
You can clean it all that.
You cannot cook all the filth out of it.
Because it is filth.
Right, cut.
Just like I said, and I remember I used to go to the country. I used to go to my great grandparents' crib, over there in country, and they would actually have not a mystery. I forget where in Georgia, but far out in the country towns in Georgia. But they would have a farm and stuff like that. And they would have the pigs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And you would see the living of pigs. It's a real unclean beast. Now they're necessary, just like shrimp, just like
rats, roaches,
crustaceans. All these they have their class in the animal pyramid. But it's not it's not edible for human consumption.
Yeah,
it's not so-called. It's not supposed to be FDA approved, but it is. It's not Israelite approved.
Yeah.
So read it over.
All right. Leviticus 11:7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed,
continue.
Yet he cheweth not the cud.
And the Lord had to clarify that one in the scriptures.
Yes.
He didn't say nothing about the shrimp.
Right.
He had to tell Jake, but Jake, the hell with that. I remember it was a couple times we brought that out at 5 Points. Brought that out and said, "So you still gonna eat pork?"
Yep.
You just like,
I can't get away from that pork. That's a drug, man.
Pork is. They say that pork is addictive.
Oh yeah.
It's very addictive, man.
You can smell it. You be like, "Damn, man."
Yeah, pork is hella addictive, man.
Jake got pork demons on the team.
Change the FDA to just the DA because it ain't food. It's just the drug. It just administered. Drug administration.
You tell Jake they can't eat pork no more. They mind go to how I'm gonna eat pizza.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna eat. Jake just is so simple as fuck, man. Like Jake is you could eat. Here it is. We in 2019. You could get any ingredient on pizza. But Jake want that pepperoni, man. You could get turkey pepperoni.
You can get a regular burger. You get turkey sauce or some bacon.
You can get beef bacon. There's so many options, but Jake just want that pork, man.
Lamb bacon tradition.
Hey, back in school, like when you was younger, I remember like certain individuals was in Islam, and they didn't mess with pork. You would join motherfuckers out there mess with pork back in the day. Oh yeah, you would. I remember this one dude. I was a nigga back then, but we used to get on him, man. We didn't mess with pork and shit. We would make jokes on him, but I remember one day he ate a pizza. Man, he was smashing at people. That shit had pepperonis all over it. We was just laughing. But that be Jake.
Now you gotta tell about the story about your father, man.
Oh yeah. I was talking to my dad. That's when I got off that drug, the drug of pork. So my dad, I said, I ain't eating pork no more. I'm done with it, I said, well, I don't know what you finna eat in this house. You got chicken, you got fish, you got eggs.
You told me that, yeah.
Jake, man.
I was cooking your own breakfast.
Hell yeah, I had to start cooking. I got on food stamps. I'm like, man, I gotta get my own shit.
Yeah, he had to get his
That's crazy.
But that's Jake, man. Jake, the thing is, see, pork is serious in all of other regions, but pork in the South.
In the South, man.
Bro, this is like that gangbang pork here, man. Don't eat pork and be around certain family members. They're gonna look at your ass sideways.
Yeah, most of my family, not most, all my family from Louisiana. All they eat
that's another story right there.
pig nose, pig ear, everything. Everything.
Louisiana, a whole other animal right there.
Hey, your family the worst.
Your family is the worst.
Because I had a similar situation. My cousin was having a cookout. My grandma was like, you gonna invite your cousin? His reply was, nah, he don't eat pork.
Damn.
You can't even come to the shindig because of what you eat. You know, you'll get less hate from people. You'll get less hate from your family and people around you if you tell them that you're a vegetarian. Like, I don't eat meat at all. But if you just say, no, I eat all these other meats, but pork, what? You the demon.
You a demon, man.
That's crazy.
Hey, I don't eat, because we don't eat mussels or shrimp or nothing like that, right? Man, I got looked at sideways so many times when, because Jake eat crab, eat crab and all that, man.
Crab boils and all that shit.
Crab boils and stuff. That's what they did. I ain't eat none of that shit. They was like, man, it was like, you don't know what you missing.
And you be feeling bad and shit. Then you start to wonder, like, what the fuck am I feeling bad, man?
Right.
See, that's that witchcraft, man. They'll pressure your ass and make you feel like you evil for not eating the unclean foods, man. Whether it's pork, shrimp, if you're around your family members, they might be busting them crab legs open. They ask you, do you want some? You be like, nah, I don't eat that.
Everybody asks you to.
Hell yeah.
But I'll tell you this, since we're spiritual men, sometimes you got to deal with family and family members. You may have to deal with your Ribs family. Just me personally, on my end, when I first met my Ribs family, I told them I don't eat this, that they thought I was weird and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, I further got into the truth. Whenever they invite us for a cookout, they specifically text my rib and say, we have made nothing with pork in it.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming.
Because you made a stance.
If I don't come, they'll cook it, but if I'm coming, they won't cook nothing.
That's how my family do.
That's how it is at my job too.
Yeah, and that's
My
how.
spirit overweighs everything.
That's how you gotta be in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. You gotta be adamant and righteous.
That hard he made our head as hard as that, hard to go against theirs,
And that's why the scriptures speak about that in Romans the 12th chapter. Don't be conformed with. Matter of fact, you can hold that. Romans 12. And you can finish that, and then we'll go to Romans 12.
These niggas are scoffing at
Leviticus 11:7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you.
Yeah, so we understand that food is unclean. The swine, all kind of different fowls, all kinds of fish without fins and scales. We look at these things as unclean. So we steer toward that which is clean and that which is righteous, and we don't turn away. So if we're around individuals that actually eat these unclean things and they suggest or they desire us to actually indulge in the same wickedness as them, we basically protest it, man. And that's how you should be in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai with any and everything. If individuals doing that which is unrighteous and you are standing for that which is righteous, then there's no conformity with that. You get that Romans 12.
If I can I bring out a word?
Yeah, you got it.
Leviticus 11. The word unclean is the Hebrew word tamah, which means unclean or impure. When you look up that word impure, it means morally wrong. So eating pork, according to the scriptures, is wrong. Morally wrong, man.
Unto the pure, all things are pure, but unto the impure, nothing is pure.
And the reason why it's morally wrong because your body has a certain makeup where certain things is compatible and certain things was incompatible. You don't feed dogs greens. Just think about throwing your dog salad. Your dog is a carnivore. In most cases, certain dogs are supposed to eat meats. Now they eat dog food, of course.
Shit, man. Hey, that's a spirit, man, because I just put my dogs on a raw diet. They eat raw meat, raw chicken, raw salmon, all that. But I did want to say, you mentioned Titus. To the pure, all things are pure, but to the unbelieving is nothing pure.
Yeah,
when you keep going, it says even their conscience is defiled. When you go into the word conscience, since you brought that word out, it says that pork is morally wrong. The word conscience literally means you discern what is morally good or evil. So if your conscience is defiled, and you can discern. Yes, if you're eating pork, then your conscience is defiled. You don't know what's more good.
Your judgment gets jaded. It's hard for you to think properly because that food takes a toll on everything. Takes a toll on
Gives you parasites.
Yeah, your parasites.
You are what you eat.
Yeah, you are what you eat. And that's why people are, their emotions are all over the goddamn place. They have no type of mental stability. They make stupid ass decisions. They make decisions like, yo, as the saying goes, what was you thinking? You know? Because Jake doesn't be thinking because of all that pork. If Jake feeling their stomach up, you have a what? Something known as the brain-gut connection.
Yep.
Where your gut basically is your second
brain.
Your second brain. That's why the saying also goes, I feel it in my gut. You know, because I got a gut. That's it. I have a gut feeling because your gut actually determines certain moods. Your gut determines a lot of things. It's like 95% of your
immune.
90+% of your immune system is located in your gut. So when you're eating shrimp, when you're eating lobster and crab, you're breaking down your immune system. You're sickening yourself. You know, and that's why our people, the age range of Jake has been getting cut by the decades, man.
It clogs up your body because you're full of mucus. When you're full of mucus, you know what I'm saying? You can't think correctly because you got something. You know, you got your blood-brain barrier in your brain, but if your body you got your circulatory system. If your circulatory system is clogged up, if your arteries are clogged, everything's linked. If it's all is clogged up on the inside, by the time it gets to your brain, the connection, it don't shoot the message right. You know what I'm saying? That's why when we tell Jake something truthful or something profound or something, it's hard to comprehend. Yeah, it's hard to comprehend. Which what?
Jake's something else, man.
They pineal glands calcified because all this stuff, you know, to put it in a nutshell, like the scriptures say, make the heart of these people fat. Because they're fat physically, okay? And I don't mean just because they're fat, but they're fat because they're clogged up physically because of what they eat. But in the spirit, they're all full of fat.
Yeah. Get us Genesis 6 and 2. You can drop that in Romans.
They can't get it.
Can't get right.
This is Genesis 6 and 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of the Most High saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. And they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh.
For he also is flesh. Because what? We started to deviate from the things that was to structure us at the top. When you read at the beginning, you had the Methuselah, you had certain men in the Bible, they were supposed to live forever. And when we started to sin and transgress, our age efficiency started to drop.
Yeah, they're like 120.
Yeah, 120.
In the 80s.
Say that, but it went from 900. The oldest man to live in the scriptures was what age?
979?
969.
969.
And it was who? Methuselah. 969 years old. That's a lot of years, man. We can't even, man, it's a blessing to reach 100. It's a blessing to reach 55.
It's shit to see 25, 21.
Shit, that's why I was like, 18. You 18, you like shit.
What's the average like
These days?
Not even. Not even. It can't be 70. I think it's like 50, 60-ish.
For blacks.
For blacks. You know?
65.
Yeah, it's like, it ain't.
65, like not even, you know, stop right there in the middle, 65. But, so it says, for that he also was flesh, because what? The spirit of the Lord wars against the flesh, so the man's flesh overtaking whatever the Lord put in him.
Yeah.
Sons of God, the sons of the Most High, in other nations.
Yeah. Because like the scripture says, in the beginning it was not so. Right. In the beginning it wasn't for us to get with these heathen nations. And it was in the beginning too, it wasn't really for us to eat meat and all these different types of foods. Because in the beginning, Adam really had a so-called vegetarian-based diet.
Not really.
A plant-based diet, huh?
He sacrificed the meat.
Yeah, and the certain meats and things were
Well, it was in moderation, though. It was in moderation.
It was for sacrifice.
Yeah, they didn't eat meat like that back then.
Yeah.
They didn't eat meat like that.
I'm also plant-based. But, okay, let me finish this. So it says, yeah, his days shall be 120 years.
It's one in Sirach where it goes to the age 2. I want that one.
Oh, that's a lot. That was my point I was going to make too. Because when you read the Wisdom of Solomon in the 2nd chapter, it says, "For the Most High made man immortal."
26, I think.
You know.
First
But-
chapter too.
Yeah, the
Like-
first chapter. When he
first
made man, yeah, first chapter.
Righteousness is immortality.
Righteousness and immortality, yeah.
Oh, he made man. Let me just get it real quick. Wisdom of Solomon 1. It's like the last verse.
Yeah, and the word immortal, I think is not, mortal, it's death.
Yeah.
That's what you have.
And made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless,
That's powerful, man. Made him to be an image of his own eternity. We're supposed to be like many gods. Psalms 82 and 6.
that's the sons of the Most High Israelites.
Yep. Yasha Allah.
Yasha Allah.
You gotta think the Most High sees all, the Most High knows all. For us to, we were supposed to be designed to be many Most High.
That's crazy.
That's powerful as shit. And
Now half of us is barely 30, and we feel like giving up the ghost, man.
like 60.
Right.
Jeez. You're 21 years old, you can't even get your joint up, man.
Right.
Trying, it is, you might be in a room with a chick.
Shoot one and be done the whole week.
You sleep, you sleep for goddamn 15 hours, man. Take you through, man. Okay.
So it says, it says, "For the Most High created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity." And he alludes to that too about being Israel, because the scripture says in 2nd Ezra, "For the world was made for our sakes." So it was made for us, for what? So for us to experience what the Lord made that was eternal. So we were to be gods and to be immortal.
That's right.
You know?
And the Lord said it spoke about creatures newly created, because the Lord was it was always intended for more things to always be added as we age.
Yep.
As we appreciate on earth and grow, the world appreciates.
That's right.
Because we're supposed to appreciate this world, because we're the sons of God. Our job is supposed to dictate, build, use our wisdom to actually continue to structure and grow and put the glory of the Lord on the earth as in the heaven. Man. And the Lord actually, adds to it, so to speak. Continue.
Yeah, so it says, "Nevertheless, through envy of the devil."
Through envy of the devil, but we envy the serpent, because the serpent came enticing Eve. And if Eve enticed Adam to know both good and evil, to lean towards the left as well as the right, and that's how we fail.
Yeah, and the serpent envied. The serpent envied Adam.
Yeah.
You know, he envied Adam. Who's like, well, who said that? You know. So it says, "Through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold his side do find it, the dark side."
Which is the evil, man.
Evil side.
And you see how people are always constantly dying off of the ways they live. What does it say? The wages of sin is what? It's death. You get paid, you get a payment for all the wickedness that you do. If men are in the homosexuality, they live short lives.
Yeah.
That's proven to actually decrease your lifespan. Lesbianism decreases your lifespan, and it makes it where you don't reproduce. Eating pork. Oh yeah. That across the street right now. Eating these different abominable foods. That's proven to actually make you sicker and reduce your lifespan. You get cancer. You got all kind of different types of testicular cancer. You got breast cancer. You got
prostate
cancer, lung cancer. All these different cancers and all these different sicknesses come from impure diet.
So all cancer can be killed with an alkaline diet.
I remember one time a Jake I had came into my store when I was working at a vitamin shop. He's asking me questions about being an alkaline-based diet. And I was like, well, yeah. So he told me, he eat a lot of po' boys. And po' boys are basically like a goddamn shrimp sandwich. And I was like, well, really, I tried to, I was young, that was years ago. So I still had like a little, I was still ignorantly in love with Jake, So I told him like man, like shrimp is really one of the most acidic foods you can eat. Shellfish and shrimp, it's really acidic. This nigga and this was a guy that when you call the ambulance, he's one of the motherfuckers that get out the back of the ambulance. He's supposed to be on a level. He like, nah, he had the whole suit on and everything. He like, man, I ain't giving up the shrimp, man. Like, what the fuck is you talking to me about?
Right. Well, you asking me about it then if you ain't
willing to change.
Jake.
But that's a Israelite in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's Israelite in a nutshell. Because Jake will listen to you talk, you know what I'm saying, talk that good shit, and they be like, yeah. Matter of fact, in the scriptures, when it say, it's like a man that sees himself in a glass, and then when you leave it, you turn his back, you turn around, you forget what manner of man he was.
See,
That's Israel. That's Jake. You know.
you told me he ate 3 honey buns every day.
This is Baruch chapter 3, verse 24, and I'm going to read on down to like 28.
I'm like, I told
It
her, I was
says,
like,
"O
man, I haven't had a
Israel,
honey bun in
how
like 10
great
years.
is the house of the Most High, and how large is the place of his possession. Great, verse 25, great, and hath none end, high and unmeasurable. Verse 26, what the captain was going into, it says, there were giants, famous from the beginning.
There were giants, famous from the beginning. That's when you get the term the Nephilim, which the word Nepal means to fall. And that's how we fell from our grandeur, we fell from our glory, because we were the apex. Just like you have superstars and the status quo, the celebrities, which the celebrities goes into the celeste or the heavens.
Yep.
You look at their spiritual, you look at their stature and status can somewhat be the same thing.
But yeah, stature what? You height. Giant. Yeah.
It says, that were of so great stature,
Status, yeah.
and so expert in war. Verse 27.
And we were some bad boys in war during that time. You even had heathen nations that was bad, you know?
Verse 27. Those did not the Lord choose, neither gave he the way of knowledge unto them. Verse 28, it says, but they were destroyed because they had no wisdom and perished through their own foolishness.
So they had no wisdom and perished in their own foolishness, the ways of the flesh. They leaned more towards the flesh than the spirit, and this is the condition that we're in now. It also tells you in Ezra how man is full of infirmities, because everybody's sick at this point, man. Back in the day, you gotta think during the time of Genesis, none of the sons, for the most part, as we know, none of the sons of God was sick, man. During the time of Adam, everything was just pure.
The
There
air
wasn't no
pure.
such thing as cancer.
Water pure, the fuel
Water pure.
pure.
There was no such thing as condoms.
Right.
You know? What the hell you need those for? There was no such thing as STDs. But in the development of society and development of sicknesses,
It's artificial living.
artificial living,
Nations mingle amongst each other.
processed food, all these chemicalized, everything has been chemicalized and then industrialized. Everybody's sick, man.
I just read an article today that the CO2 levels in the air have skyrocketed.
Because there's no fucking trees.
They're at the highest level ever right now.
Can't hardly breathe.
Because no trees.
Yeah. No trees.
Deforestation.
Yeah, deforestation. What they say, cutting down south of Panama, cutting down trees to south of Panama every year. That's a lot of trees that's being cut. That means our oxygen is being depleted tremendously, man.
And then for them to do that, that does show you too how vast the earth is, how big it is. If they could cut down, you know, a forest the size of Panama every year, just, you know, add up all the years they've been doing that, how many square feet, like that's a lot, man. You know?
And it takes some time for these trees. And it takes a lot for these trees to get to this size. This isn't
Right.
it didn't take these trees 3 years to get to that height, man. Some trees, some pines, like a full grown pine tree, might take like 25 years. 25 years to get to that point.
And all them animals that dwell in those places that they cut down, where are they going?
Going to the
Cage to the
backyard.
zoo. Yeah, roadkill, shot down.
Yeah.
Because when the white man campaigned for these different lands, they not only killed off majority of the people, they killed off all the animals too. Burned down a lot of the forests. Burned down, like when they came against the Native Americans, they burned a lot of the land.
That's why these animals gonna fuck these white people up, man. I just gotta put it out there straight like that, man.
And I got a reference, man. Our main author, man, the main man himself, the author in that article.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man.
He in the spirit ready to put some more work
He already ready.
Goddamn Edomites, man.
Let's slap the hell out of Edomites.
These animals gonna join. They're gonna be gang in that day,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Oh, when you watched that in movies, I remember when I was younger, I think I said that before, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, you watched the movie Golden Compass.
They show you that in Aquaman.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I gotta still watch that movie.
they show you that in Aquaman how the animals turn.
And we had that power back in the time during the time of Noah. There's some more of that.
Esau just got
Time
to get
of
it,
Adam.
man.
Yep, had dominion over the flesh, over all animals, where you could command them. Like when Noah gathered the animals in the ark. He had what they call, not telekinesis, but a form of that. It was a form of mental communication, where he could actually talk through the spirit.
Oh well, he sent the dove out. Or he sent the dove and the raven.
Dove and a raven, yep.
Yeah, he sent the raven out, and it came back, and sent the dove out, and the dove didn't come back.
And he was on that means he was on a high level, man, to have communion with animals like that. To understand the sociology of animals, you know.
Right.
Why'd he pick them 2 birds?
So why do you pick those two?
I mean,
you had literally thousands of birds, cardinals,
eagles, hawks.
Right, like what did he know about the animals? Because in the scripture say wisdom of Solomon 7, Solomon understood the creatures.
The beast,
You know, the beasts, yeah.
Hey, that's just weird, man.
Creatures of men.
Because I've been studying about falconry lately, and they say you do falconry for your whole life, and when you get your first falcon, you can it's a chicken or you raise it like you have a puppy. But it'll get to a certain age or a certain time that it'll be loyal to you. But there's a certain time you may go take it out to fly and it won't come back, and you got to restart. You know what I'm saying? But you take that falcon out, it hunts for you, it hunts with you, it gets its prey, you feed it, you give it food, you give it shelter. But it's a certain you have to use a certain type of bird to conduct those certain type of things. And it's like Noah knew that a raven and a dove would be perfect for this specific job.
Yeah, some animals are more loyal. You got certain animals, you got certain birds that just stubborn as hell. I think ravens are to a certain degree stubborn too.
Ravens and crows are extremely smart because they don't have any they don't actually have any like predators that hunt them.
Yeah, like natural enemies.
They don't have any enemies, so they just have a lot of free time.
Yeah.
And ravens, like even like when you compare a raven and a crow, but actually a raven is a lot bigger. Like if you seen a crow, a raven would be about almost as big as this boy. A crow's a little bit smaller. A raven, its bill's longer, bigger.
It's sharper.
Yep, sharper. It's as I think they even say it's even more intelligent than an actual crow.
Yeah, they're asshole birds too.
Yeah.
They're real assholes.
They'll wait for you to put something out and then they'll wait to steal something from you.
I was watching this guy. He like you said about falcons. He was the same way with ravens, right? And he was like, yeah, this is my raven, whatever the name was. He was like, yeah, he's a real asshole. He bullies me.
Yeah.
You remember that video? You like the bird just fly around and just fuck with him for no reason.
But you notice too. When I was studying falconry and when they have eagles, they have white-tailed eagles, golden eagles that they use. Some even use bald eagles. But when you study these, it's a lot of the unclean birds that they use for the hunting and things.
Right.
The clean birds are the ones we use for eating. Those are the most like humble birds.
Yeah.
Chickens.
Yeah, definitely.
Quails. Yeah.
Doves and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Even pigeons.
Unclean birds are mainly predators too.
Right. Yeah.
More unclean animals that's why they're known as apex predators, because when you're dealing with carnivores, even when you're dealing with the animal pyramid, the more unclean, the more apex they are on the pyramid anyways, because they're aggressive. They got a level of they just got a level of fierceness about them. More clean animals are humble, man.
Yeah.
Sheep,
That's why
lamb, everything is spiritual.
Cows act like dogs. You ever see like a calf?
Yeah.
You could play catch with it, roll the ball, it'll come and pet with you and lay. You can't do that with no goddamn wolf.
Hell no.
Well, you could, but not in this,
On that.
Yeah, I want to say too, like going back to the falconry, one of the Genghis Khan, he had a pet falcon. And we with him
Yeah, Mulan.
It's a story though, but as a part of his history. But it's a story, and it's a famous fable they got about Genghis Khan and his falcon. But that was one of the things that him and his military were into. They would send falcons out, like heavy in the archery, where they would actually ride on horses with the big bow. It's called the Mongolian bow. And they would have the falcons with them, and they would hunt. And that's because Genghis Khan, his empire was, I think, even greater than Alexander the Great.
Oh yeah.
Because he took over all that plus Asia.
Yeah.
You know,
He was pushing far.
Alexander didn't get
Yeah,
to
he
finish in
was-
that area. Mongolia and all of that. You know, but he
killed so many people that he changed the temperature of the earth.
Hell yeah. And they
but
say
he was in the
majority of
Falcon
a lot
too.
of his seed is all spread out throughout
Like I think they say like 1 in 200 people are actually blood related to him.
I'll give you a good indication on that show, Marco Polo on Netflix. Too.
Yeah.
The Mummy. Remember the movie Mummy? The guy had to through the bird. Oh shit.
You got that in Genesis? Genesis 6. Yeah, with Noah.
And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark,
2 of every sort shall thou bring into the ark, continue.
to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female.
To keep them alive, they shall be male and female. Why? Male and female to reproduce. Continue.
Verse 20. Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee,
2 of every sort, continue.
to keep them alive.
And I think they had more clean than unclean, so that they could eat the ones that were clean.
I think it was like 6.
It was seven unclean.
No, 7 clean.
7 pairs of unclean, and it was 2 of the 7 of the clean and 2 of the unclean is what I'm trying to say.
God.
The clean, yeah.
Yeah, that shows you that ark wasn't a little boy ark, man. It was very big and intricate. For you to actually house all those clean birds and land animals and things of that nature. More than likely, all the aquatic animals was still in the water because of the flood. So you have individuals that try to logically put it together. What about the whales? What about the whales and the sharks? You're telling me they got sharks and whales of each species? Nigga, it was a flood, man.
It was water.
Flood, it was water, man.
Not chocolate pudding, nigga.
Hell yeah.
The Lord didn't flood the earth with pudding, man.
Right.
Fucking nigga.
Right, like you gotta put the
Jake be just looking for a reason to scoff, man.
Yeah, giants with the sea turtles.
Right.
How big those sea turtles be? They ain't need to put a sea turtle in there.
They was having fun.
Hell yeah, that's how
Why he put Leviathan on the boat?
Oh, yeah, Leviathan.
We had to put Leviathan on the boat then.
But for elephants, for giraffes, for all these different animals to be on that, and that's why it took him the space of 100 plus years. It shows you he was a master architect. He was divinely inspired by the Most High Yahweh to actually create that, because they had a lot of different animals that actually dwell on that ark. See?
All right. Verse 20. Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. Verse 21. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them.
And the purpose of the ark was to be built to actually save and redeem man for the destruction that will come on the sons of God. And we living in that same time now. If you can get that in Matthew 24, as in the days of Noah. Because the same spirit that was going on during the time of Noah, when you had this ungodly that was cleaving to the ways of wickedness, is the same thing that's going on today. Sin and transgressions was reaching to the heavens, and you still had the few good men, the true one good man and his son, which truthfully speaking, it was Noah and Shem. That was who the Lord was dealing with. Ham and Japheth was the ones that was also to spread throughout, but the Lord had to preserve the seed of Israel.
That's right.
Because that line of Noah goes all the way back to Adam. You had Adam, you had Faxad, you had Lud, you had all these different individuals that came through the line of Shem. All right, and through Shem, you had various other individuals, and you had Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which created the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So even now, when this new flood, which the flood is not going to be a flood of water, the Lord created the covenant with Noah and said that he established the rainbow and said there would no more be a flood of water.
Right.
So this new flood of fire, when it actually, this place actually burns, it's still going to be individuals that's going to be caught up in a spiritual ark. Which that ark is going to be the chariots.
That's right. Psalms 91.
Psalms 91. And we're building that ark right now. We're building ourselves spiritual fortification and protection, that protectionary hedge from bringing out this truth so that we'll be protected in that day. You got that?
This is Luke chapter 17 and 26, and it says, and as it was in the days of Noah,
And the word Noah, what does it mean? Yeah, or comfort, what? So in the days of Noah, keep continuing.
It says, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. It says, they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage.
They were given in marriage. They were basically in an Epicurean mindset. Because the Epicureans, when you go into the history of them, they're all about pleasure. They don't care about really discipleship. They don't care about wisdom. They don't care about spiritual virtues. They just care about pleasures of the flesh.
Because the Epicureans today would be what you call so-called atheists.
Yeah.
They didn't really believe in it. They just willy-nilly. You know? It says until the day of Noah entered into the ark.
Yeah, to the day that Noah entered into the ark.
And the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise, as it was in the days of Lot. Yeah, as is the days of Lot, they did eat, they drink, they bought.
Same thing happened during the days of Lot. When you had Sodom, Gomorrah, and the three bordering cities, it was all kind of sodomy and wickedness that was going on. Lewdness, perverseness. And you had individuals that attracted to those major cities, because that was like what they would call a pentopolis. Penta means 5, and opolis is really, where you get polis is cities. That's where you have the term like metropolitan, which metropolitan is meter goes into the word meter, which means mother, and polis is city. So mother cities. That was the pentopolis or 5 mother cities, and you would have everybody that would attract to those major cities for what? Homosexuality. Same thing like Atlanta. Everybody comes to Atlanta today, not because of the good food, because they sell good steaks in downtown Atlanta, but no, so they can F off, man, like the brother said. You have a lot of men that'll leave their wives and say that they're gonna come to Atlanta for a little bit. They come here to freak off with men, man on man, homosexual relations, and they'll go back like they're so-called straight. Then they'll have certain clubs. You got all kind of underground clubs and things that go on here. Right. So the same time, we living in sodomy all over again. Living in the days of Noah all over again. As well as living in the time of Acts. And all these different times is really culminated in the days today. That's what makes this scriptures powerful, because it applies from Genesis all the way to Revelation and the times we live in now.
And if you don't mind, people will use that scripture to try to cut or speak against the fact of martial law and Jacob's trouble and things of such, because they'll say that as in the days of old Noah they were marrying. And listen, because these people are asleep doesn't mean that that's not coming. Just as in the days of Noah, those people they were effing off and being just lewd characters, but until that rain came. Same thing with this in this day and age. The Lord is going to bring that fire, but it's going to be things that the scriptures tell us that the fire is already set. So there's things that's already happening. Just because these simple ass Americans can't see that martial law is coming, don't mean that it ain't. So just because it says that they were marrying and stuff doesn't mean it's just going to be all lovely and then on Monday and then Tuesday chariots is going to release us. No, man.
That's right.
It says they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. Verse 29.
Exchanges and system building. Because you got individuals that don't believe America's going to be destroyed because they see the production here, man.
Right.
And industrialization, all kind of buildings always be, all kind of things that's being thrown up onto this day, man. Technology is advancing. The majority of people in their right mind, you talk to these billionaires, these business tycoons, these so-called leaders of America. Say for instance, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, say for instance, he walked past the camp, and we tell him, America's going to fall, it's going to go into an economic down spiral, and it's going to be a famine out here, it's going to be a lack of food, it's going to be a lack of substance. You think he's going to believe that shit? That man's worth what, over $1 billion?
Hundreds
of billions? Hundreds of billions of dollars. See? So individuals like that, they don't see it, man. They don't believe the prophecy until it come to pass. See?
It says, but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
Yeah.
Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
So during the time when Yahweh Shah comes, there's going to be all kind of destruction, havoc, and chaos. It's going to be fire. All right? Mayhem. Pandemonium. Get Ezekiel 7-6. Oh, you got something?
Oh, I hate that much. Ezekiel 7-6, it says, the morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding, Salakia, and not the sounding again of the mountains. Now, go ahead.
No, just 18.
It says, now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish mine anger upon thee. And I will judge thee according to thy ways, and I will recompense thee for all thine abominations.
You gotta think this place is full of abominations. This wickedness that's going on right now, we can't. The thing is, we catch what we see. And majority of the things we don't see. Scripture says it's we don't want to see. It said it's a shame for the things that go on in secret, man. The Lord kind of still keeps us, keep the blinds over our eyes to a certain degree. Even though we got the eyes to see and, we got the eye salve, the Lord still keeps us from certain things. Because if we really had the eyes of the Lord and seen all the wickedness that goes on all over the world, we bug out, man.
Next scripture. You kill yourself probably.
Probably kill
It's
yourself.
like, I'm going back to the spirit world. It's too filthy here.
Right, yeah.
Here's the
Be
next,
traumatized.
here's the next verse for you. It says, verse 9, and my eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways and thine abominations.
And if I may, that's why when you read about Abraham in Genesis the 18th chapter, he was pleading with Yahweh. He was pleading with Yahweh to what? To basically spare Sodom and Gomorrah. He's like, Lord, if you see 50, will you not kill it or not destroy it? And he said, no. He said, I wouldn't. He said, well, if you see, what about 40? He went all the way down from 50 and 5 and decreased it by 5, all the way down to basically 10. Because in man's flesh, we don't see.
All the way down to 1.
Yeah, he went all the way down to 1. Salakia. In man, with us, we see from the eyes of the flesh. That's why, Jake, we see maybe death, or if we saw a baby getting killed, that'll kind of like, damn, that'll hurt you. But the Most High, he literally, the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, man. So he's seeing every bit of wickedness happening on the earth at once through the angels. That's why his anger is like, nah, the hell with that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And he could see in that in the past, everything. It says, I will recompense thee according to thy ways and thine abominations. That's why you get Romans 2:6. He says, render according to every man's deeds. Okay? It says, that are in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord that smitteth. Like, when he kills, you should know who. It's like when you watch the movies, when the protagonist finally gets his quote-unquote revenge, he looks the antagonist in his eyes, so he knows who is killing him.
Yep.
All right, so even in the day of Jacob's trouble, all these people who didn't, we were speaking about the Epicureans earlier, how they kind of align with the atheists today. When an atheist gets killed in Jacob's trouble, he's gonna know exactly who did it. He's gonna know exactly who the name was. He's gonna remember exactly when he encountered the Israelites on the highways and byways. Second Ezra chapter 13 and 37.
Second Ezra, what was it? Second Ezra what?
13 and 37. But they gonna know exactly, you know what I'm saying? But listen, I want to digress because it did say my eye will not spare. Meaning, in the brother Abba, he brought out, like, if we saw the things that the Lord saw, we'd probably drop dead, man. And probably agony and sorrowfulness, because we see in the flesh. All right? Go ahead and get Job 15:14, and we're going to bring that out next.
Job chapter 15, verse 14. What is man that he should be clean?
What is man that he should be clean? We're in the flesh, so literally, yes, we are unclean. So how can we see everything in its purest state? The Lord can see pureness, and he can see pure evil. We do see evil, but to a certain extent that he allows us to see. The Lord preserves our minds so we can still come out here and do this. Because like you were saying, if we see all this stuff, we'd be bugged out, man.
And if I may say what you're saying, even with the Lord sees it through his angels.
Yeah.
I got a precept that actually you said. This is Habakkuk 1:13. And it says, thou art of pure eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and hold thy tongue when the wicked devoureth the man that is more righteous than he?
And here's an example of that, okay? Say you're a king. Well, I mean, we're kings, but in that time, say you're a king, and your ambassador comes up to you and say, hey, the people are asking for corn. And you're like, okay, I have corn. Are you going to get off your throne and go and shuck the corn and pass it out to the people? No, you're going to administrate somebody to do that occupation, but you delegate.
That's right.
You're going to delegate somebody to conduct that occupation and then disperse it out to the people. Well, who gets the credit? The king does.
That's why when you go into the scriptures too, it speaks about the eyes of the Lord, because the angels are really the ones that's really beholding all the evil and wickedness that's done here. They got the dirtiest job. That's why they're known as the reapers. Whenever you're dealing with like in a farm and you're doing the reaping work, the gathering, that's a dirty job, man. So even when you're reading during the time of David, when the angels he got chosen to actually destroy a portion of the people, you see how actually excited he was and how he didn't want to put the sword down because he actually had opportunity to lay down judgment, man.
Exactly. It's the same thing. I know it was of a different. It wasn't on the Israelites, but when you read about King Hezekiah, when that angel came down and killed like 185,000 Syrians in one night. Assyrians in one night, But it's like they ready. Even when you read in the book of Revelation, they holding back the four winds, meaning they ready to let it go, man. Just give me the word, because they tired of seeing it. You know what I'm saying? You can reread that Habakkuk.
This is Habakkuk 1:13, and it says, thou art of pure eyes than to behold evil.
Thou art the pure eyes than to behold evil. So you think the Lord's going to get off his throne to literally come and look at this? He has the angels, and he got us.
Yeah, that's right. And he hears our cries.
And he hears our cries. Get Exodus, well, we get that later, but I'll just quote it. Exodus chapter 2, around like 24, 25, and 26. He said, by the way, he heard the groans and the moans by the way of their bondage. And he remembered the covenant with Isaac, with Abraham, and with Jacob. With Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob.
That's right.
So yeah, he does hear us. So he has the angels,
the messengers.
He has the messengers, like you're saying, the ministers by fire. And then he has us, literally, boots on the ground, witnessing all this iniquity. He don't need to get off his throne to go see this. He's made people to see this. He's made spirits to see this. All right? And he just gets to report back. But
that's how pure the Lord is. That's crazy.
That's bad right there.
That's how intricate, that's how bad, that's how intelligent he is. The scriptures say it was Psalm, I think 92 or 91, where it says his thoughts are deep. You can't fathom what's going on, man. Even me saying that,
it's still
we're still scratching the surface.
Not even scratching the surface.
Isaiah 55 says that my thoughts are higher than your thoughts.
Finish that on Joel.
You wanted me to reread this? Let me just finish this off. Habakkuk 1, and continuing on, it says, and canst not look on iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and holdest thy tongue when the wicked devour the man that is more righteous than he.
It's Job chapter 15, verse 14. What is man that he should be clean? And he which is born of a woman, that he should be righteous.
That he should be righteous, man. Keep going.
Behold, he putteth no trust in his saints. Yea, the heavens are not clean in his sight.
Even his firmament. All right, I think when you look that word heaven, it literally means the sky.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even want to go past
Shemayim.
the Shemayim. Yeah, that's right. He doesn't want to go past that because that's filthy. Like I mentioned earlier, the CO2 levels are at an all-time high right now. It's filthy.
It's Satan in the air.
It's Satan in the
Because
air.
Esau sprays his chemtrails, and the two components of the chemtrails is barium, what is it? Aluminum and barium oxide. And then you look on the you look on the periodic chart.
More.
Well, plus more, but the two main ones are those. And when you look on the periodic chart, what is it? BA and AL. Baal.
Yeah.
So this motherfucker is spraying Satan in the air all day and every day.
And you also have the system of the precipitation, condensation, and evaporation.
Water cycle.
The water cycle. So everything is going to the heavens and coming back down. Everything, all the barium that's being descended is still going back to the heavens.
Hey,
That's true.
That's right. So I remember earlier was Caprice was speaking about the digestion.
I think it bonds to the water.
The digestive
comes
tract.
down, it comes
We
down.
were speaking about pork is bad
Acid
and all that,
rain.
right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna put it in this light. So say what down here is bad things are being consumed, and say the sky is the digestive tract, right? You're supposed to have a bowel movement every single day.
Shoot,
Do you think because the Lord doesn't even look, not even on the firmament, you think anything good is coming out of this place? No. You think any evil is being put to waste? Pretty much like when you eat, it's supposed to come out. The waste is supposed to come out. Everything is staying here clogged up. It's a clogged belly. It's bloated.
Toxic.
It's congested. It's highly acidic.
Toxicity is out of the roof.
Out of the roof. It's just hella clogged, man.
pH in the negatives.
pH in the negatives. literally right now, this place is so filthy. The Lord doesn't. Who wants to look?
Lord, ain't even looking at this place. That's how bad it is.
And the Lord,
You ever seen them lifetime? You ever seen them like AC? I don't forgot what the channel's called, but like Lifetime channels. It's like I haven't gotten off my couch in 10 years, and they like 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Woven
yeah.
to the
Yeah.
woven. That shit nasty to look at.
TLC channel.
That's what this earth looks like right now. And on top of that, you know he's pissed and don't want to look at it because he made this place, left it and it's fucked up. I had it clean, I had it good, I had the rivers going through, I had the Garden of Eden. You know what I'm saying? Everything was green and luscious.
Land flowing with milk and honey.
Milk and honey. Sweet. Nice savory smell. I had decent people on the earth.
put thousands of types of species of flowers and animals.
He said that in Genesis. Like he said it in Genesis. Everything's good.
Yeah.
It was
That's the
good.
spirit.
It's good.
It was good. Damn. It rested.
Yeah.
Right when he looked back, he's like, what the hell is going on?
Esau is like Snoop Dogg in the Gin and Juice video. Parents go away on a trip,
Right,
come
right,
back
yeah.
home early.
Yep.
Jumping on a new couch.
It's just
Right,
niggas
throwing
in the
a party.
house, just turn your house into a trap house.
40s everywhere. Bitches
Who
with
wants
their
to look
tops
at
off.
that? So he got to get a purifying agent, like he did the first time with water. Now it's the second time with fire, and purify this place. Double the destruction, like it says. I think in the book of Jeremiah.
Yeah, I got it.
Go ahead, Evan.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3.
Sorry, Lord.
Verse 5. For this they willingly are, I'm sorry. And saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of Yahweh the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished.
Like that world that was overflowed by water. All right, all that wickedness got washed away.
Yeah, he looked back.
He looked-
yeah.
yep.
After a certain generation, he looked back and sin, Genesis chapter 6.
Crept back in.
It was filthy.
Yep. And after the flood, sin just crept its way back. Then it crept its way back. You read all the Genesis 10, and you get to Genesis 11, right back in action.
Hey. Yeah, I think how how many generations
The
that took
evil
too.
root that grew.
You know.
You
There's a
know,
period in time, yeah.
Yeah.
hey,
yeah.
what you need to grow is seed, water. So after the flood, got Ham going buck wild with Nimrod, building. Like you got to take this wickedness all the way back to the beginning. We flushed it all out. First, y'all was acting like faggots. Then I had to flush y'all out. Then it came back, and now y'all building the tower, talking about one world order. Nah, man. You look back. You look. I did this to clean it. You look right back, and it's like dirty again. And now it's the same thing. You look back again. Man, I'm just gonna get the burner on them.
I'm just gonna get the.
I'll get the burner.
Get the flamethrower. Your house shy. Get the flamethrower. All right.
Just burn it up.
Get the
Burn it
burner.
up.
Just burn it.
Burn it.
You got something?
Yeah, I got a preset.
All right, go ahead.
And the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire.
It's reserved
Fire.
unto fire. That's another thing that a characteristic that we got from Yahweh. He likes to build a case. He lets things get to the pinnacle, the very tip top, to the point where it's like, what else? Every day, all of us brothers wake up like, how else can this place get any more wicked?
There's no room
And
for
then the
just
next
enough.
day, damn,
You get to the next level.
it got, like, I didn't, it's like, you
I'll be saying shit. I
not
was
didn't
gonna group
expect
text,
it,
be like, man,
but
nah,
it's like,
I'm not doing this.
damn.
Yeah, I picked up a lady this morning. Stupid early in the morning. It was probably like 5:36 in the morning. Took weed in the car. Goddamn hour long, man.
Damn.
You know, them long ass rides.
Yeah.
It be them long conversations, man. So she was telling me she was like a caseworker or whatever for group homes. Man, she told me, you know, basically dealing with handicapped, mentally retarded people. She said it was this one guy that did something to her.
Oh shit.
And she said that the guy, he was autistic, or the parents didn't know how to deal with him. These motherfucking parents, and I gotta say it that way, locked the son up in the basement to the point where he kind of grew up like a dog. He ate his own fecal matter.
Oh hell.
When I'm listening, I'm just like, but that again, that's
Child
that eyes. You don't know what's happening in every unit. You don't know what's happening in every house in your neighborhood, man.
They had a book called A Child Called It back in the day. Little boy, I think they, you know, white parents, man, they be fucking demons, man.
Eat them like man.
The flowers in the attic. Remember that story?
I never
Straight
heard that
from the
one.
womb.
The mother had remarried, and she didn't want the man that she was dealing with to know that she had children, so she locked them up in the basement. And then basically there was 2 brothers and 2 twins. It was 4 kids. The brother and the sister, they grew up, you know, little kids, but then they became into puberty. You a boy, and they started fucking each other because basically all they ever knew was each other.
Right.
And here it is, hormones going, and they ended up basically being in a relationship with each other and creating kids.
Hell nah.
It's a sick world.
That's some chainsaw, man. Okay.
Flowers in the attic.
See, man,
Yeah.
purify this place.
It was some flower. It was shit. It was some deflowering going on in the attic. I got some.
He's gonna finish
Go.
this out.
Jeepers.
But the heavens and the
Cherries
earth,
in the basement.
Put cherries in the basement. Flowers in the attic.
but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire, against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
That's right. He has to build a case. He has to preserve. He has to let things go ahead. So he has a reason. Like the priest brought out, look, I done gave you Moses. I done gave you these. I done gave you the laws. I done told heathens to give blessings to you. I done did this, that, and the third. And you doing this. I got a reason to come back with fire. But as of right now, like you said, you brought out in Isaiah the 1st chapter, that 5th verse. Why should I strike you anymore? You're just gonna keep being wicked. So I'm gonna leave your ass alone. Yep. Jeremiah 15:1, like your brother the Captain Barzal mentioned earlier. Jeremiah 15:1. I'm gonna turn my face from you. Alright? And y'all can go ahead and F off, but I'm building a case on you. Just know that. I got people watching. You know? So I'm preserving all that, and I'm going to bring fire to you. All right, please.
Yeah, this Ezekiel 22, because we're talking about the fire, right? This is Ezekiel 22 and 20. All right? It says, well, I started 19. It says, therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh, because ye are all become dross, behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin in the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you.
That's just straightforward.
Hey, this is my favorite scriptures right
That's
here, man.
straightforward, because,
One of my favorite scriptures right
it
here.
reminds me of a scripture in the book of Exodus. It's a law. It speaks on if you afflict the widow, if you afflict the widow or the fatherless child.
I just came off the channel.
That the Lord, he literally said, if you do that, I will kill you with the sword. Like literally, it said, I will kill you. It's like so straightforward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that was like, look, just like they gathered, all these different metals, put them all together and burn them and melt them. I'm gonna do the same thing to you. I'm gonna take all y'all idiots in America, you 2/3, all right? Because Zechariah 13, when it says in that land is speaking about right here, all right? I'm gonna burn you. He got everything. Ezekiel 24 chapter. It speaks about the scum of the pot. You 2/3 are some of the scum. And that pot is speaking about the melting pot, which is America.
Yep.
I'm gonna put you all in that little cauldron. All right. Put all y'all in there. I'm gonna light that. I'm gonna in that Dutch oven. I'm gonna light that thing on fire with the missiles. All y'all gonna burn and melt in there in agony. You're gonna feel every single little bit of it. It ain't gonna be a quick death. It ain't gonna be a quick death. Reread that. You say I'm gonna leave you in there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you in there. Go ahead, reread that.
There's one more. Well, one more. It says, yea, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof.
They should be melted in the midst thereof. So in the middle of all of it, right there in the heat of it. Go ahead.
It
and
says,
speaking to the Negroes all the way down to the so-called Mexicans. Right? All you ones who don't want to come back to the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, all right, and repent. The word repent means to turn back.
Turn back.
Not make a 360, but make a 180. So go back from your wicked ways and turn right back to the Lord. Don't turn back again. That's a 360, dang it. That's like a dog returning to his own body. A dog will grow up and then start eating it again. That's nasty. Just like if you go back, if you were a nigga one time,
You were purified in the eyes of the
you're
Lord.
purified, you got the words of the Lord, you're doing good, you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, you're done eating pork, you're done eating swine, shellfish, all this crustacean, all the things that are acidic, you're done committing adultery, you're done smoking weed, doing drugs, all that stuff. And then you turn right back to it.
Yep.
That's filthy and that's disgusting. It's what you call an abomination. So all of y'all who do that and turn back to that, you're gonna be right in the midst of that fire, man.
You're gonna get cooked.
You're gonna get cooked. Keep going.
Boy,
Keep
right.
going.
Verse 22. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I, the Lord, have poured out my fury upon you.
Yeah, and what is he gonna use as that melting agent? These nuclear missiles that are coming from the nations that are mad, according to Jeremiah, the 51st chapter in Revelation, the 17th. All right? They're going to be mad and they're going to send these missiles over there so you can get burnt up in that pot.
Yep, the Lord's armory.
In that melting pot, which is called America.
Yep.
You're going to get
The
burnt
great
up
melting
right
pot.
because you didn't want to, because during your time of grace and liberty, which is right now, you have the chance to turn back, since you didn't want to take heed to the prophets that stand out in the highways and byways, one right here and one down the street. You can't miss them.
Around the world.
In every city, in every state. Since you didn't want, and we're on, like you said, online, we're on YouTube. There ain't no excuse. Since you didn't want to turn back, you're going to have to melt, and he's going to leave you in there and melt. Go ahead, buddy. Just out. Go ahead.
That was it on that.
Okay, come. Hey, you have something?
I had something for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he
Let me
was
back up. Second Ezra 9, on my side at the top, and it reads, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world he made. And I just pulled this out because, like you said, the Lord's not even looking at this stuff. So imagine when he takes foot and really takes a glimpse at what the hell is going on for his own self. He's gonna be like Superman, man. Like imagine like a so-called black man, you know, he told your ass at 6 in the morning, listen man, you better have that damn garage clean. Here it is, 6 p.m. coming, you hear the garage opening up. You know you about to get your ass whooped. But the Lord is gonna do it on a level that's like, it's ultimate, the ultimate level, you know?
Can you read that?
Yeah. This is 2 Ezra 9 and 2. And it says, and then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
That's right. I was about to say when you read that, call all your Habashim al-Shai, because we have the eyes to see what's going on. All right? And you know what's crazy? The Lord will open up a portion of somebody to actually see the prophecies and still not believe. And still not believe, man.
Oh yeah, so that's you got a lot of Israelites that know the truth that are like that. They see it, but they don't go into it. They don't bring it out. They don't prophesy. You know.
We're gonna bring this parable out real quick.
This is Matthew chapter 22, verse 1. And Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidding to the wedding.
All right, that's what we do. Preach repentance. Just a synopsis. Go ahead.
And they would not come. Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidding, behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed.
Goes back to Proverbs the 9th chapter. It says, I have mingled my wine, killed the beast, prepared the table.
Yeah, wisdom.
Wisdom, go ahead.
And all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. And they made light of it. You can talk about you, Jacob. And
Laughed
went
at it, scoffed at it.
Scoffed at it.
Made light of it.
Scorned it.
Oh, that's them black Hebrew Israelites.
just went past on up the fish.
Yep.
yeah.
My grandmama been talking about the end since I was a child.
Yeah,
It ain't
right.
the end.
Right.
Or you can even take it further.
Been talking about
and
that.
someone could get deeper into it and just be faking the funk and the kick.
Yep. Well, that's them spies.
Yep. And went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. And when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he went forth.
It says he took there and slew them. That goes back to you can bring out 2 Chronicles 36 and 15, where they killed the prophets, man. During the time of I think Zedekiah, the last king, before the downfall of Jerusalem, which was like 587, something like that BC, if I'm not mistaken. I think 586. 597 was when the Persians came out.
Babylon.
Yeah, Babylon.
Yeah, like 587, 586
Okay,
BC,
something like that.
BCE.
Go ahead.
Verse 7. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burnt.
You see, Salah, finish it off. I didn't mean to cut you off.
And burnt up their city.
There you go. And burnt up their city. You see how the Lord he gave you chances. He sent out his men, plethora of times, gave you the indication of what, you know, hey, I'm bidding you to the marriage, man. You got an invitation.
Come.
I'm extending an invitation to you to repent, to come back, to live right, you know. And then he went from 0 to 100 real quick.
That's right.
Hey, if I add your point real quick, just going back to what you said about what brother said about how people say, oh well, they've been talking about the end, but that just means you have more time to get right.
Damn.
That's what the grace is about. Don't you want more time? You know what I'm saying?
Like that's like if you have a bill. And
I was just
you know
say
they
that,
give you a bill to pay and they give you more time to pay it.
Right.
You gonna scoff at that?
Right. Like let's say your bill is due at the first of the month, but they say we'll pay it by the 7th, and then you call them again, but like I got it next week, and then they give you one more week. You know what I'm saying? You got more time.
You know, judgment.
Yep. It's not executed speedily. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Following
That's it.
the devil, envy and the devil.
Yep.
It's Esau.
Through envy of the devil came death. That's why they gonna die.
The Lord them gave y'all hell of extensions. Man.
Yep.
So don't get mad when you reap on your ass.
Lord, it says Isaiah chapter 51.
Second Ezra 9.
Repo that goddamn spirit.
Yeah, yeah, get it. Yeah, so don't be mad when he repo your ass. He repo your spirit.
Repo.
Come here. All right, on some scorpion stuff.
Yeah.
Get over here.
Get over here, because I done gave you time after time.
Whoop that ass.
I done have mercy on you.
Bro, this is mercy still. Like you said,
Yeah, it's in the prophets.
The very fact that like judgment hasn't occurred shows that mercy is still being extended.
And when judgment does occur, that's still mercy.
That's still mercy.
Because your ass is coming back in the kingdom, living lusciously. Still.
Jake is something
Still.
else.
Still.
Isaiah chapter
Listen,
59,
you still gonna
verse 1. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear.
All right, and it reads, and Yahweh looked upon them, saying, with men it is impossible, but with Yahweh Shem Yahweh, for with Yahweh Shem Yahweh all things are possible.
So definitely that clarifies the fact that Isaiah is pulling out that his hand ain't too short to save. It's very possible for him to do it. The righteous will be saved scarcely, just loosely paraphrasing, by the skin of our very teeth. A missile could be this close to the ground. And you still are you watching it like
you see the explosion above you, the fire coming down.
The warheads coming.
You
feel that heat.
It is right here.
Beard all sizzled.
Singed. Scorched.
You can hear that.
You know when you burn your hair, it turns colors. You know,
You
like
can hear people screaming.
Eyebrows gone.
You can hear people. You can hear people screaming in agony. You can see buildings blowing up.
you know, you can see that wave.
He's
They talking
remnant
shit.
too. He's talking about only the elect remnant
Get Isaiah.
Israel should not be like Sodom and Gomorrah, should not be done with.
Get Isaiah. I love this one. Get Isaiah 10.
Oh, it's just St. Patty's Day. That's all.
You know, get Isaiah 10 and 20. Because that's a beautiful point, brother.
Oh, top of the morning.
Isaiah 10 and 20.
Yes.
All right, Isaiah.
Top of the morning. Top of the
Bye,
morning.
bro.
Top of the morning.
Bye, bro.
Top of the morning.
Isaiah 10 and 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped the house of Jacob.
There you go. It said the Lord's hand is not
Short.
it's not shortened to save, pretty much. It says in the remnant, meaning what? The leftover, the residue, which are the elect 144 of Israel. Okay? And it says, shall escape. You go into the word escape right there. It means delivered. If you're delivered from something, that means you are saved, you are preserved. Okay? Keep going.
And shall no more again stay upon him that smote them,
Meaning we should not stay upon Esau, meaning lean upon. Go ahead.
but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth.
We're going to lean on the one who saved us. Keep going.
Only the elect spoke that.
Yep.
Neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear.
That's right. That's why we said earlier, he still hears us crying, groaning, moaning, and sighing. All right? Only the true worshipers, though, according to John the 4th chapter.
Yep.
think like the 23rd, 24th verse. All right, keep going.
But your iniquities have separated between you and your power. Yeah, so like the brother said, bid into the wedding, you hearing the word, but the Lord is you hearing the word, but you're blocking it.
Yeah, we piped onto you in the marketplace.
So the Lord turning up from 0 to 100 real quick by destroying you with the martial law, the pestilence, and the famine of the word, the famine of bread to come.
He's justified.
Yep, and he's justified. Oh, righteous indignation.
Yep.
His indignation means a righteous anger towards you. He's gonna laugh at you in your calamity.
That's right. The Lord doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah.
Keep
Right.
going.
Come.
We'll close on this.
And your sins have hid his face. That's like it. And your sins have hid his face from you, which is his word.
Salaki, get Jeremiah 15.
Jeremiah 15.
Yep. Keep it.
That he will not hear.
Yep. That he will not hear. Your sins, which is the transgression, the breaking of the law. All right? Since you have so many iniquities, he said he hide his face from you.
Yep.
That he will not hear. You go ahead and Jeremiah 15, then we keep going. Is that
Good.
You got more. Okay.
All right, this is Jeremiah 15:1.
Yep.
It says, Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet mine mind could not be towards this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth.
That's right. That's your 2/3, man. Mm-hmm. All right, but that was speaking as Israel as a whole, but applying it is to 2/3, man. Because your iniquity, he's going to turn his eye from you. Or turn his eye from you, and he will not hear you. Instead, he's going to laugh at you through us. You know? So, that wraps up another day at camp. Lord willing, our brothers and sisters were edified. You know? We want to give all glory, honor, and praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakudash.
double honor to the apostles and elders of the millstone of the well. Peace, love, salutation to the 1144. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom.
Last Passover for the last